It's time for high school football on Beaver County Radio, a WBVP tradition for over 76 years. Tonight's broadcast is being brought to you by eXp Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Programs, Fry Transportation, Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the YMCA, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, McDonald's, Moon Auto, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, CCBC, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fisher's New Brighton Foodland, Al's Pizza, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Drug-Free Aliquippa, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, LGKG, St. Barnabas, Gnu's Body Works, the J&J Spratt Funeral Home, Hallowed Grounds, J. Young Refuse, Zuki Sports Tavern, the Rochester Hotel, Henderson Insurance, D&G Rentals, S.E. Snyder Insurance, and Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. Now let's head out to the McGee Heating and Air Conditioning broadcast booth for coverage of tonight's game.
And welcome to Heinz Field. I'm Angino, Mike Asadian with me in the booth from the McGee Heating and Air Conditioning broadcast booth. It's the Quips of Aliquippa playing host to the Leopards of Belle Vernon. This is a state powerhouse matchup. 4A playing 3A champion from last year. Aliquippa going to the state finals 3 years in a row, winning bookends. Belle Vernon going back-to-back, winning both of those championships. And in some respects, it's a little bit of a rebuilding year, reloading, if you will. But I don't know about you, Mike. The idea of having the 4A state champ play the 3A state champ, I don't know if anything is like that has ever happened before this early in the season.
I agree. Not only state champ, but WPL champs. I mean, I think it happened last year with a Central Valley and somebody. We saw something like that at one time before. But you're 100% right. I mean, you're talking about athletes on both sides of the ball. And the R word isn't rebuilding. The R word is reloading.
Yes. For Aliquippa, it's an amazing reload process. The guys that they have coming in from outside, from Central Catholic, from Bishop Canavan, and what they've been able to do. I mean, you have guys that are looking at D1 offers that aren't even listed as starters on this team.
Because the biggest thing is, we talked about this, it's quickness and it's height. And it's the toughness, and that's what you are when you're equipped. These kids grow up tough. You at 12 years old, you get hit, you come back up and fight, and that's how these kids are, and that's why they're so talented. I mean, we could just go down again and again and again. They lose a guy, they replace a guy that's just as good. There's so much talent on here, and we'll talk about a lot of them. But you're right. There's kids sitting on the bench, and they're just waiting their time.
Once again, you are listening to the McGee Heating and Air Conditioning broadcast booth broadcast of the Fisher's New Brighton Foodland pregame show here on Beaver County Radio. And we've had an opportunity to sit down and talk to both of the head coaches. Head coach Matt Unbird of the Belle Vernon Leopards, back-to-back state champ. Last week, didn't play a game, much like Aliquippa didn't. They played a scrimmage against West Allegheny. Talk to him about that a little bit and get some insights regarding those interviews and talk about the matchups here, player for player, position for position. It's all coming up on the Fisher's New Brighton Foodland pregame show on Beaver County Radio.
Make your dream of a college degree a reality at Community College of Beaver County. CCBC offers 10 pathways to success, including health sciences, criminal justice, industrial technology, business, and more. Start at CCBC and finish your career or get transfer ready, all at a realistic cost. Enroll today, ccbc.edu. Get ready to kick off your game day with everything you'll need for tailgate parties from Fisher's Foodland in New Brighton. Party trays, snacks, beverages. If you're looking for food ideas to make your tailgate party unforgettable, Fisher's has it all. Fisher's Foodland is a complete independently owned and operated grocery store focused on your daily needs for the whole family. Remember, football season is a great reason to visit Fisher's Foodland in New Brighton.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is now open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced and highly trained staff is here to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop on down to Beaver County's newest firearms store, Tri-State Sporting Arms, at 807 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check them out on Facebook.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
We all know there's an advantage to being the home team, to playing at home. And at LGKG, we have been your home team for over 90 years.
We're more than just a law firm. We're your friends, your neighbors, an advocate when life takes an unexpected turn.
We're not just lawyers that practice law. We live in this community, just like you.
When you need us most, we're at our best.
You're listening to 2024 high school football coverage on Beaver County Radio from the McGee Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by eXp Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness, Pride Transportation Group LLC, Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the YMCA, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, Tri-State McDonald's, I'm loving it, and Beaver County Radio.
Your team gelled together so much better than the schools that had more D1 recruits than you did. Why do you think that was the case, and how does that apply moving forward to playing a school like Aliquippa?
Well, I mean, you know, it's something that you have to pretty much lay as a narrative from day one. I mean, you constantly have to, you know, explain, remind, prod the narrative of what needs to take place. And I think with us as coaches and us constantly putting that at the forefront and kind of really emphasizing certain things, I think that helped. But then ultimately, to be honest with you, I mean, I think, you know, if you really study this stuff and you study success and you kind of look at it, I would be remiss to say that the teams that win these type of championships do have a core group, a core nucleus of kids that kind of all play for each other and really that don't want to disappoint each other. I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, we just had a group of kids that they were eager to please, and there was just a weird kind of connection that those kids, you know, didn't want to let each other down. They didn't want to let the coaches down, you know, and when you're going on the road and you're playing a group of kids that are extremely talented and chock full of Division I talent, you know, the last thing I told them last night was, you know, whenever we went and we played in back-to-back state championships, I mean, the thing, especially when we played like Newman Goretti, is, you know, that brotherhood is going to have to show evident more than ever. And I think, you know, that's kind of our motto tonight, that cohesiveness. You know, if we're going to be successful tonight, we really got to band together and kind of, you know, formulate some cohesiveness, because I think that would be our advantage.
Now, let's talk about what you saw in that scrimmage from last week, West Allegheny. What you liked and what you feel that you need to improve. What did you learn from that scrimmage?
There wasn't much that I liked from that scrimmage. And I think the reason being is because, you know, we're trying to, you know, establish this puzzle piece. We always talk about it every year. You know, I could go back in 19 and 17 and 21 and 23, and we always talk about, you know, that canvas and that slate and matching the puzzle piece together. This year's just a little bit more challenging because we have such a big turnover in terms of starting positions. So, you know, I think what I liked from last week is we finally were able to kind of say, okay, let's move this guy here, move that. So I think the clarity aspect was probably the thing I liked the most. But we're definitely not, you know, in sync where we want to be at this point in juncture. But then again, that's another reason why we like playing a second scrimmage. So, I guess to answer your question, the good thing is we have a little bit more clarity in where we want to move people and put the puzzle pieces. The thing I didn't really like is we're just still not really clicking on all cylinders, and that synergy and that connectivity is not there. But that's the challenge and the goal. You don't just sit and pout about it. I mean, that gives you motivation to come to practice and practice a little harder, because that's what you're striving for. You're striving for that connectivity between your groups. And that, to me, is an exciting thing. It's as much as it's a frustrating thing, it's an exciting thing, because, that gives you more of a hunger to want to get out there on a Monday and a Tuesday and 90-degree temperatures.
State champ versus state champ tonight. Was it easy for you to get the guys up for this game and realize the significance? I mean, I don't know that this has ever happened before, where you have state champ playing state champ in a week 1 game.
Listen, it's one thing that, I never really mentioned, just because they know it. They know the program. I mean, we've played them twice in the past 5 years. They've denied us our first WPO championship in the modern era here at Belle Vernon. So, I mean, that's things still lists today. But I also, the ultimate goal is, we try to not really focus on who that team is. I mean, we really just try to focus on ourselves. And it doesn't matter if it's Northwestern Lehigh, Thomas Jefferson, Aliquippa, or Greensburg, Salem. We try not to really focus too much and dwell too much on them. Not to say that we don't prepare for what they do and how they do it. I mean, that would be naive not to say that. But we try to really spend most of our time and energy correcting ourselves and controlling our controllables. So it's 50-50. They know what's at stake. They know how big of a priority this is. It's probably one of the biggest games in southwestern Pennsylvania. They're aware of that, but they're also aware of doing their job, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Mike, when you look at this team at Belle Vernon, clearly they don't have what they had last year. They only have 4 returning starters on offense, 3 on defense. But this team is so well coached. You talk about the importance of being able to have those extra practices, and all the kids that are on this roster have had the experience of being able to have those extra practices the last 2 years, and they know what it's like to win and win as a team.
Well, that's a good point. Knowing what it's like to win, seeing the guys above you, getting your chance, and then when you get your chance, you have to step up, or you're going to get replaced. But they do have to there is a new quarterback, 3 offensive linemen, a new tight end, 2 linebackers. Those are the main things. But basically, if he stays healthy, he should have a very competitive team. Will they be a state championship level team? That remains to be seen. Will they be able to beat a team like Quip? That remains to be seen, because Aliquippa has their issues too. But if they get the ball to playmakers, if they balance the run and the pass, if they have consistency at quarterback with the new kids, they'll be all right. But sometimes that takes time, a game or 2. So this is a good test for them early. But having those kids with the experience, that is a gold mine. You got a month more practices than a lot of other teams do. That's almost a half of a year for some kids.
The Fisher's New Brighton Foodland pregame show continues on Beaver County Radio. My conversation with the head coach of the Aliquippa Quips, Vashon Patrick, coming up next on Beaver County Radio.
Getting into the lineup and making the team is easy at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Training camp is starting, and you are invited. This is Coach Andy Dengel, and I'm looking for new teammates. Membership is open to many organizations and groups throughout the county. Join my team at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Details and applications are available now. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union today. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The unexpected happens. When it does, you have peace of mind that you can rely on your insurance agent. As an independent agency, S.E. Snyder in Rochester can represent you to several insurance companies, so we can get you the best coverage for the best price. We pride ourselves in customer service and honest sales, so you shouldn't feel pressured with an insurance quote. If you need a quote or have questions about the coverage you need, talk with us until you're satisfied. Call S.E. Snyder Insurance Agency in Rochester today at 724-774-3584.
In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win, or at least a winning smile, by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com.
Hi, this is Bob Barrickman here for Fry Transportation. When it comes to school buses in Beaver County, it sure is hard not to notice the shiny Fry Transportation fleet. Fry Transportation has been a local family-owned Beaver County business for over 30 years. As any successful football team must be dependable and reliable, these same qualities have made Fry Transportation a champion operation. Best wishes to all local teams and safe travels to the gridirons this season. From your friends at Fry Transportation.
Coach Patrick, welcome. Good to have you on. The off-the-field news stories were rampant and rather intense, whether it was about the PIAA wanting to move Aliquippa up to 5A or what was a very sudden decision by Coach Warfield to take a leave of absence. How have the guys responded to that?
They haven't responded well. I mean, they're just thinking about playing football. They really didn't get into the litigations of the PIAA, even though they knew it was wrong. And, with Coach Warfield stepping down and, passing the torch on to me, we just kept it as business, and we just, we kept our head down, and we're going to get ready to play on Friday night.
16 years, Aliquippa has been to the WPIAL championship game. It just so happens you've been an assistant for 16 years. Is that the consistency that Aliquippa brings here, that you've been there, so the idea of stepping into this role is just a natural progression now?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it looks like that. I mean, but we have a great coaching staff, and we make sure our kids get after it, know the X's and O's, and the players just are receptive to learning and teaching, and, they just want to play hard.
You were quoted in the Trib as saying, "I'm overjoyed just being able to coach my alma mater in the town that I love. It's a blessing." But one of the things that's also noted in all of the stories is that you are the interim coach, and Coach Warfield took a leave of absence. Do you feel an added pressure, not only because of the legacy that is Aliquippa, but that this is not a complete commitment, that this is your team at this point yet?
No, I feel like it's my team. I've just been here throughout the years and just working so hard. I'm not even taking the interim head coach as any question. I mean, right now it's under my regime, and I'm gonna do the best that I can, and making sure the kids are, they can prosper and win and on and off the field.
One of the struggles the teams have is being able to stay up year after year. We see it at the collegiate level. We clearly see it at the pro level. It just takes so much to be great, to be able to keep that energy high. How does Aliquippa do that so consistently, seemingly now for more than 16 years?
Just being taught the correct way, the skill level, and progressing and getting better each day, and along with the high school coaches, just making them better and teaching them the correct things, not just for the high school, but at the next level.
Everybody's expecting that Aliquippa is going to win this game tonight against Belle Vernon. How do you keep the guys from being overconfident that they can look past any team and that they need to focus on the importance of the next game, the next play?
That's how we teach around here, next play mentality. I mean, we're not focused on the game. We just want to win one play at a time and just focus on getting better. As long as we're a unit and playing together and doing the best we can, we'll win at the end of the day.
Tell me, what do you, after watching some film, granted it's a brand new year, brand new team, but what are you expecting from a Belle Vernon football team tonight?
They're very athletic, fast, gritty guys. Coach Hummel will have them ready to play. I mean, they are coming off a state championship themselves. 2 years in a row. It's like the Clash of Titans. I mean, you got two good premier teams in Western Pennsylvania ready to show down and show what they got, without key players like, they had Quentin Martin and Devin Willout the past few years. We had guys like Cam Lindsay and Quentin Good.
Mike, do you think there's any issue about Vashon Patrick getting this head coaching job so late before camp actually started? And the ability to really have the guys gel and coalesce behind him?
No, I don't think so, because he grew up equipped. He's been here. He knows the kids. He knows the system. A couple of years ago on Coach's Corner, the head coach, Mike Warfield, sent him with the kids instead of Mike. And he is a very well-spoken guy. The kids respect him. It's not like they brought somebody from the outside. And you know how they are here at Aliquippa. All the assistants are guys that have worked with these kids, and it's kids that have moved along and come back to the program, so they know how to get the respect from these kids. So I don't think it's a problem at all.
One of the things that they do remarkably well here is they have tremendous talent, but they can get them to play as a team. We've seen this when you go to the next level, you're going to the state playoff, state championship. Sometimes you have these all-star teams with amazing kids. On paper, they should roll, but they don't. What is it about Aliquippa that can get these guys to buy into a system, want to be a part of this, even though they may not be a starter and the star?
Well, you know what I think happens is these kids all grow up playing together. It's us against everybody else. That's the mentality they have. And they grow up being tough. They grow up with uncles and grandfathers and fathers that all played, and they hear about it at the Thanksgiving table. They hear about it at 4th of July. And they grow up, like we said earlier, wanting to be a Quip. And so they all are together. And I think some kids realize that other kids are better than them. So it's either be on a team like Quip with a chance to play, or go play somewhere else and not win. And they grow up a Quip. They want to stay a Quip.
All right, coming back with more. We'll talk about games from around the Beaver Valley. A lot of big matchups that are taking place tonight. We'll get to some of those. We'll look more at the matchup tonight, key positions, players to watch, and especially when it comes to the potential CCBC players of the game. It's all coming up on the Fisher's New Brighton Foodland pregame show from the McGee Heating and Air Conditioning broadcast booth on Beaver County Radio.
Let Hallowed Grounds Coffee Roastery of New Brighton help you start each day with a winning cup. Taste the thrill of victory in every sip of Hallowed Grounds heavenly roasted coffee. Brew up a win when you shop small and support a local business. Help Hallowed Grounds celebrate the home team spirit and get into the zone by clicking on hallowedgrounds.com. Or score big when you stop in person at Hallowed Grounds Coffee Roastery in New Brighton. Brew, sip, and celebrate.
How can I help my child to make positive choices?
Start with a conversation. Start making the difference.
Beaver County Parents, is your child between the ages of 10 and 14? If so, Keystone Wellness Programs is offering the Strengthening Families program in your area. This free program is designed for families to have fun together while learning ways to promote family bonding and communications. For more information about upcoming sessions near you, visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org.
Paid for with PA taxpayer dollars.
There's exciting news. A new pharmacy in New Brighton just opened, Forward RX. It's an independent community pharmacy that fills prescriptions at transparent cost-plus pricing on many generic medications. No insurance or discount coupons needed. Brandon Anthonopoulos will discuss your needs and how Forward RX can help you save money. The pharmacy experience you deserve is more affordable than you think. Become a Forward member today. Stop in 809 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check their prices at FWDRX.com. Your Beaver County McDonald's restaurants are proud to partner with Beaver County Radio in sponsoring all the local high school football games this season. Stop into any of your local McDonald's restaurants for everyday value items like 2 for $3 mix and match, sausage burrito, sausage McMuffin, and hash browns. Don't forget to download the app for extra special savings. Looking for a great part-time job? Visit McHire.com today to apply. Good luck to all the Beaver County football teams this season from your local McDonald's restaurants. I'm loving it.
Football season is in full swing, and so are the deals on F-Series trucks at Moon Township Ford. Stop in now and save up to $4,000 in dealer discounts on America's #1 selling truck, the Ford F-150, plus additional rebates which everyone qualifies for, and rates as low as 0%. No matter where you go, the Ford F-150 is the quintessential American truck to take you to the football field or anywhere you want to go. No wonder that it's the most popular vehicle sold in the U.S., and you can save up to $5,000 in dealer discounts on America's toughest player on the field, the Super Duty. It's all part of the August Spectacular going on now at Moon Township Ford. Not everyone will qualify. Please see dealer for additional details. Rates are offered through Ford Motor Credit and are with approved credit. Moon Township Ford, University Boulevard across from Robert Morris.
Delconi's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Welcome back. This This is the Fishers New Brighton Foodland pregame show. Now taking a look at the Fried Transportation update desk, some games and some matchups around the Beaver Valley. How about this one, Ambridge? Big victory last week against Western Beaver. They draw Laurel Highlands tonight.
You know what, Ambridge, we talked to a lot of their kids on the show this week, and Sherman McBride's got those kids thinking the right way. It's big for them to win these non-conference games because if they end up in third place in this conference with Aliquippa, they could be a team looked at as being a playoff, a wild card team.
Beaver Falls really has some questions they have to answer, and they draw Imani Christian tonight. What does that matchup look like?
Yeah, that doesn't look good for Beaver Falls. They basically have a whole new team. As their coach said, they have to be bottle fed. And when you replace everybody, they're going to have a tough year. It's just a learning year for them to see what they can do. And Imani Christian, not sure how strong they are, but I know they have some really good athletes.
Central Valley may have one of the toughest schedules to begin play, even though it's all non-conference. Montour last week lost to Montour. Now they have Thomas Jefferson tonight.
You know what? I mean, if they're not scared, and I think they play Belle Vernon next week.
Yes.
So they're not scared to play tough competition because he wants to get this team ready for another WPL playoff run and a possible state title run. They should be one of the top contenders in 3A.
Hopewell, they take on Newcastle tonight. How do you see that matchup?
You know what? Newcastle and Hopewell, both growing teams. Neither team's had much success last year. Hopewell won last week. I think that should be a good matchup and a chance for Hopewell to win.
A great game to be at, too, tonight, Montour and Moon.
You know what? Moon, with that surprising semifinal run last year, that's a big rivalry, actually, and that used to be played at the end of the year all the time. I think Montour's just a little bit too strong right now. They're one of the top contenders in 4A.
How about this? Freedom's looking good this season, too. They take on Rochester tonight.
If they can beat Rochester, they'll be 2-0. A lot of people felt that, Freedom really didn't play that well last year, but they got their skill players back this year, and if they can get better play on the line, I think they can make a playoff run.
Blackhawk, who rolled past Beaver Falls last week, they get Beaver, who was able to come back 2 scores down and beat Westinghouse.
You know what? Beaver, I think, is one of the teams this year we're going to be looking out for. We're scheduled to do some of their games. They should be one of the top contenders. It could be a long day for Blackhawk. And Blackhawk was impressive. I want to see how good they are versus Beaver compared to what they did against Beaver Falls last week.
Another team that has some questions they have to get figured out is Western Beaver. The Golden Beavers really were one-dimensional last week when they played Ambridge, and now they draw another tough matchup. They have Southside tonight.
You know what? The big thing is their line. If they protect Peel, then they'll be fine. But if their line keeps breaking down, they're going to have a long year because if he gets hurt, they're going to be have a tough time. In Southside, they went to the WPL final last year undefeated until they lost to Fort Cherry. So we'll see. I think both teams will be good. I think Western Beaver will be better than they were last week.
All right, coming back with CCBC potential players of the game and the kickoff in 60 seconds on Beaver County Radio.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
And we're back, just moments away from kickoff. Mike, when you look at these two teams, players to watch, potential CCBC player of the game candidates.
Well, I tell you what, the one guy who really shone last year was Khalil Good. 3 interceptions in the state title game. I love how he plays, and I really think he's one of the next big stars coming out of the school.
All right, coming up, the kickoff. Aliquippa is in all black pants, black shirt, black helmet. They are kicking off to Belle Vernon, left to right. Belle Vernon in the gold pants, white shirt, gold helmet, a squib kick, and down at the 31-yard line. One of the up men wasn't able to get control of it, but then the second level was Belle Vernon, 1st and 10 from the 31.
Well, we're going to see if what Coach Humbert says comes through. He wants consistency from his quarterback. He wants consistency between running the ball and passing the ball. And we'll see what he brings here. And Quip They're tough and quick on defense, so it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Aliquippa, they did win the toss. They deferred and decided instead to go ahead and get the kick to start the third quarter. Starting up at the front of the line, Ryan Kent, Tyler Zielinski, Timmy Schwera, Dalton Dommett, and Jude Minetti are the front five for Belle Vernon. And set up in the quarterback position is Curtis Wade. He has a man in motion, run right up the middle. Nice run by Cole Doppelhuer, able to pick up a couple.
Yeah, up at, against Quip, they're tough to run outside because of their quickness. They're tough to run inside, too. And that's going to be a challenge here for Belle Vernon. Whose line is better? Did Quip replace their graduation on the line? I think they did, but so far so good for the Quips. They, 3 yards, I think.
Yeah.
3 yards.
Aliquippa runs what they describe as a 5-2. They have 3 down linemen, the nose guard, and 2 defensive tackles. And then their linebackers are in the up position to pressure on the ends, and they do exactly that, wrapping around from the outside, holding Belle Vernon to a gain of 1. Curtis Wade, no more than that.
Yeah, Wade with the fake handoff. It's almost like an option, and he runs straight up the middle, but the Quips weren't fooled. He gets a couple. But they're not getting past that initial contact.
Yeah, third and a long 5, maybe even 6, with about 11 minutes to go and a running clock. Belle Vernon in a difficult spot. They are third and long, first possession of the game, and Curtis Wade is set up in the shotgun, sidecar to his right. Double wide receivers to his right. Looking right now, slant pattern, got it, received, and he's out past the 50-yard line. Nice catch there by DeBry Lightfoot.
You know what? Blown coverage somewhere by somebody, and there's a Belle Vernon man down, too.
And here there's a penalty flag on the play, too, over at the 33-yard line, back in that original line of scrimmage. So it's kind of hard to see exactly how they're going to call this. They have the ball set up at the Aliquippa 48 near side, but the referees are congregating around that penalty flag set back at the Belle Vernon 33.
I don't know if Curtis Wade got hit after he threw or what, but he was down, now he's up. But nice slant pattern. You want to start up as a quarterback with the quick 8 to 10-yard route. That's exactly what he did. But he was wide open. Somebody on Quip missed that, and we'll see what the penalty is, and we'll see what goes on.
Penalty against Belle Vernon.
Okay.
And it looks though they're bringing this entire thing back. Great play. They found the open receiver over the middle, but penalty flag on the play brings it back to a third and long. They're backing them up 10 yards on that penalty.
Yeah, it makes sense. And
5 yards.
Yeah, Quip will take that. But, they better watch that because that's where Quip was susceptible all the time last year and the year before, in the middle of their defense, after the line, after the linebackers, before the DBs, especially when you're in single-man coverage.
Tony Lascola, the head referee, with a call on that play. Once again, Belle Vernon set up similarly to the last play, stacked by receivers over to the right, looking that way, has a man and tipped twice and intercepted. Great pickoff, Khalil Good. Did you not mention him during pregame?
Told you, but he got lucky there. 2 tips to him.
That's
Two
right.
tips, but he still got it. He's in the right place at the right time. He's thin as a rail. He's athletic. He's a quiet kid. He's a good kid. And his brother was a former quarterback, but I got to tell you, right place at the right time. 2 tips. Dangerous passing against this Quip team.
Now Aliquippa has it 1st and 10 from the Belle Vernon 35. They're on the far hash mark, going once again from left to right. There is a timeout on the field because of an injured Belle Vernon Leopard. We'll take the timeout with them. Back in 30 seconds on Beaver County Radio.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
Aliquippa, big interception on a 3rd and about 11 for Belle Vernon. They had converted, but there was a penalty on the play. They got pushed back And then after the ball that was tipped twice, finally brought in by Khalil Good for that interception. And the Belle Vernon player is still down on the field. They're just now bringing him up. Hopefully he's able to be okay at this point.
You ask why before. 3 former Quips from their state championship team last year come back from college to see games like this. Guys travel from Ohio, other places in Pennsylvania, and they never leave here, Robert. And they come back and they want to be a part of it, and that's why Quip is the way they are.
Aliquippa now has it 1st and 10 once again from the 35-yard line of Belle Vernon, far hash mark. They're set up in tight, double tight end, 2 running backs behind Marquise Council. Takes the handoff to Tyke Hayes, rolls to his right, finds an open receiver, completes it in the flat. Longmire with the reception all the way down to the 16-yard line.
I got to tell you, everybody thinks that Tyke Hayes is going to get the ball, and yes, he will. But you know what? When you got a brand-new quarterback in his first game, you get the jitters out real quick, don't you? You just throw it in the flat, and they bought into it, and that's a first down. It's a big, big play on offense.
Nice reception by Lester Longmire. 1st and 10 now from the Belle Vernon 16 near hash mark. And they set up in a similar formation once again. Double tight ends, 2 men in the backfield, broken eye to the left. Marquise calling for his wide receiver to go in motion. He does exactly that. Larry Moon the third, all the way out wide side left, under center. Snap. Hands it off to Tyke Hayes right up the middle, and Belle Vernon able to sniff that one out. Almost no gain, maybe 1 on that play.
I got to tell you, when I first was here 3 years ago and I saw that young man run, we all said, that kid is special. When you see him run, it's like watching a gazelle. He like floats on the air. He may get stopped on occasion, but he is the real deal. It's been a pleasure watching him.
Aliquippa set up 2nd down and 9 from the 15-yard line. Marquise Council now in the shotgun. Running backs on both sides. Option play to Tyke over the right side. Makes the man miss down inside the 5, close to the 3-yard line. Knocked out of bounds. Great run by Tyke Hayes.
If you see him, he can stand underneath a basketball hoop without running and jumping and just jump up. He is that much of an athlete, and his thighs are so thick. When he gets hit, you can't bring him down. You got to go low, and they can't bring him down. So he stood up and got extra yardage. So against a tough team like Belle Vernon, a few more yards.
Aliquippa now, 1st and goal from the 6. 8:34 to play in the first quarter. Near hash mark one more time. Council under center. I formation, hands it off to Tyke Hayes right up in the middle over the left side. He's getting close down to the 1-yard line. Well, maybe we'll call it the 2. Pickup of a couple.
4 guys on him. 4 guys on him. He's still pushing, Robert. Tells you how strong he is. And he got bigger since basketball last year, which, by the way, they won 2 straight WPL championships and won the state in basketball here, too.
Broken eye one more time. Wide receivers, wide right, wide left. Tyke up the middle over the left side. He's in. Touchdown, Tyke Hayes.
Yeah, he's not to be denied. He's your bell cow back. He's going to get the ball. He gets hit. He's still able to lean. He's experienced, so he puts the Quips up 6-0.
He needs a little over 100 yards to get the 6,000 for career rushing. He's already inside the top 10 in leading rushers in WPIAL history. Has quite a number to have to get to in order to become number 1. That's almost impossible,
yes.
But just an amazing running back. And the extra point, the kick is up, and it is no good. So Aliquippa is up 6-0, 8:04 to go in the first quarter. The kickoff is coming up next on Beaver County Radio.
Looking for a fall activity for your children? Pass and score your way into the Beaver County YMCA's Youth Soccer League. The league will teach the basic fundamentals of soccer. There will be 1 practice a week teaching drills and skills. This soccer league is for kids ages 5 through 12 and runs from September 10th to October 19th. Registration is already open. To register, go to beavercountyymca.org.
Do you want a chance to win $1,000? Head over to the Rochester Hotel and watch your favorite NFL team every Sunday. Ask the bartender for a ticket to enter your name for a chance to win the $1,000 cash prize for free. Everyone is eligible to enter one entry every Sunday throughout the entire NFL season. Enjoy this football season with specials on all your favorite game day foods and drinks at the Rochester Hotel. The winner of the $1,000 cash prize will be chosen on Super Bowl Sunday. So head out to the Rochester Hotel every Sunday this NFL season for your chance to win $1,000.
Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard has the best wings and homemade sauces in Beaver County. Zookie's Sports Tavern is the perfect place to grab a bite to eat or a cold beverage before high school basketball games. Zookie's Sports Tavern has a heated and enclosed outside bar equipped with several big screen TVs and is the ideal place to watch all of your favorite sports. Don't forget to become a VIP for discounts and special offers at Zookies.com. That's Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard.
Let's go down to the sideline with the EXP sideline report. Here's Tank. Tank, what are you seeing down there, my man? Little bit of technical issue. I appreciate that, Tank.
Yep.
One of the things that he texted up to us was how impressed he is with the technology that's available on the sidelines now. Huge difference from just a decade ago when it comes to what is available for teams when it comes to sideline information and iPads and TVs and all kinds of technology that's down there. Aliquippa just kicking it off. Shagog kicking it off. It's now 1st and 10 for Belle Vernon at the 40-yard line.
Aliquippa number 1 in WPL school victories in the WPL, 783. They are 6 ahead of Jeanette, number 2. 3 Beaver County teams, by the way. Beaver Falls 8, Rochester 9.
Wow.
How about that?
That's impressive. Belle Vernon to Leopards set up in the shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers wide. Handoff up the middle, and it went absolutely nowhere. Alonzo Wade, a returning starter for Belle Vernon, was stuffed in the backfield. Loss of 3 on that.
Yeah, running up the middle against the Quips, not a good idea. Their line has been impressive. I could see why you want to try it against them, but nobody runs up the middle on them. Now, the best chance you have against them, they are somewhat susceptible to the pass over the years.
Their guys up front, not as big as they've been in the past, but Miles Green, a defensive tackle, he's 260. Devon Humphreys at 290. Justice Starks at 250. Belle Vernon, 3 wide receivers wide. Back to pass, looking, scrambling, looking for a guy. Throws it incomplete around midfield. He was looking for Alonzo Wade. Curtis Wade just not able to connect.
Yeah, you know what? He was open for a split second, and I don't know why he threw that pass. He was almost triple covered by the time he threw the ball. So not a good choice there. He's lucky he didn't have that picked off.
They're going to try to figure out a way of getting the ball more to Anthony Cruz. Anthony Cruz, one of the guys that they have that is a Division II prospect. You think about all the Division I guys that are on Aliquippa. Belle Vernon, they lost their big number 1 at Division I with Quentin Martin last year graduating, going to Penn State.
That's a big loss.
Huge. Anthony Cruz is listed as their athlete now. They're hoping to get him in a situation kind of like what Quentin Martin did for them the past couple of years. Wade, back to pass, looking down the right side, finds a man, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Anthony Cruz, and he was stuck immediately, setting up a 4th and 13 from their own 37-yard line.
And he got hit hard, and his helmet came off. So not good for him. That was another one. You throw it in the tight zone. He was covered. He held on to it. They're close to the first down, but
Preston Rathaway is going to be set back deep to punt. And the punt returners, Harrison Walker and Larry Moon III. Harrison Walker, standout. He's looking at the possibility of going to RMU. They've made him an offer so far. And Larry Moon III, he has over 3 dozen schools that have made contact with him. Fair catch by Larry Moon at around the 17-yard line.
And that's a smart idea because that was a heck of a punt. And, he wants to run it back, but that was such height that their offense, the special teams got down there, and he knew he'd have got blasted. So let's catch it here and give our offense a chance. So good turnover, good field position turn for Belle Vernon. But now their defense has to step up down 6-0.
So Aliquippa, if you just joined us, was able to get an interception on Belle Vernon's first possession. They won the toss. They decided to defer till the third quarter. And then with that, got the interception. Great pickoff by Khalil Good. And with that, Aliquippa then able to drive down there. A lot of Tyke Hayes scores a touchdown for them.
Exactly. Now lightning. We got lightning, buddy. They just took everybody off the field.
Yeah, I noticed some lightning over on the far side. With the way that it's set up here at Aliquippa, the scoreboard is not at one of the end zones. The scoreboard is at the visitor side of the 50. And I noticed a little bit of lightning over in the distance off the hillside.
Yeah, you have
and
to do
now it's getting closer, and so the referees have decided that they are going to postpone this game for a little while.
Yeah.
And Aliquippa just ran to the left, if you will, to the left sideline, the left end zone, underneath the big Heinz Field, home of the Quips.
Yeah, they're going to their locker room.
And now Belle Vernon is going to go to their locker room, and it could easily be another half hour or so.
I think you have to wait a half an hour is the rule. And,
and that's from the last time you see lightning.
Exactly. So if 15 minutes in, you have another lightning strike, you got to wait another half hour. We've seen this at this time of year, Robert, in August and September, when you still got that humidity from the summer and you get the storms in the area. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we're not going to be the only game delayed today. It happens from year to year. I'm a little surprised that people were sitting in the middle bleachers still. That could be something dangerous that you got to watch out for. Because number one, above everything, as much fun as you want to have watching the game, the safety of everybody, and especially the kids, is number one. You have to be safe. So I'm a little surprised people were sitting in a standstill.
All right, how about if we take a little break? We'll come back more. We are here at Heinz Field. Aliquippa is up 6-0 over Belle Vernon. 7:03 to go in the first quarter. Aliquippa with possession around their 17-yard line. And we are in a weather delay because of lightning. Easily another half hour before the game is able to resume. Back with more in a moment on Beaver County Radio.
Al's Pizza, next to Fisher's Beverage in New Brighton, is open. Yes, the owner of the food truck whose pizza you enjoy has a storefront in New Brighton. Next to Fisher's Beverage, Al's Pizza is open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Al's Pizza also has hoagies, calzones, pepperoni rolls, and gluten-free options. If you like pickles, you'll love their pickle pizza. Yes, pickle pizza. So stop out and see Al next to Fisher's Beverage in New Brighton for a pizza for your tailgates this football season. J. Young Refuse in Industry is proud to be an integral part of Beaver County for the past 34 years. Featuring a wide range of recycling services for contracted areas, they are sure to help you get the job done. The J. Young Refuse team of professional drivers consistently exceeds safety and service throughout the day while their customer service representatives take professionalism to the next level. Call them today at 724-495-6199 with any questions you may have.
The sound of classic golden oldies and classic cars just naturally go together. Gary Snare and his professional team at Gnu's Body Works in Freedom is ready to help you relive those golden days of memories of yesterday in style. They specialize in restoration and customization of all makes and models to make your dream ride a reality. Everything from lowering or airbagging your rod or street custom to fill custom color paint color. Gnu's also handles collision and general repairs. Restore your old ride to its former glory. Call Gnu's Body Works, 408th Street in Freedom.
This football season, don't pass on McGee Heating and Air Conditioning. Honest sales and 7 days a week emergency service have made them tops in their game for over 60 years. That's how long families just like yours have been relying on McGee for all their heating and cooling needs. Get ready now for the cooler days ahead and call McGee today at 724-375-7112. Serving the Beaver Valley, including Aliquippa, Monaca, Hopewell, and Center Township. McGee Heating and Air Conditioning. Family owned and operated, Main Street, Aliquippa. Good luck to all the teams who visit the Gridiron this season from McGee Heating and Air Conditioning.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall in love, that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
You're listening to 2024 high school football coverage on Beaver County Radio from the McGee Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by EXP Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness, Pride Transportation Group LLC, Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the YMCA, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, Tri-State McDonald's, I'm loving it, and Beaver County Radio.
We are live at Heinz Field in Aliquippa. The game is postponed. It is temporary delay. Let me put it that way. There's a weather delay that is in place right now because there were lightning strikes that were visible from over one of the hillsides. And, Mike, you were just saying that you just saw one not too far away, right over here.
There was a big one behind us, and you saw one in front of us, and there's another one to the left. With heat and humidity, that's what we get. Just one of those things. And, you know, when you get that kind of bad weather like this, humidity just brings it. And we have 3 lightning strikes. You cannot have kids on the field. There's metal in the helmets. Doesn't matter. I mean, you never know what's going to be a lightning rod. And the last thing you want is a tragedy.
Well, let's go down to the field for a moment and talk to Tank. Tank, you had an opportunity to speak with the officials. What did they tell you?
Yeah, they were just saying let me back. Well, they were 3 minute window, so we're still waiting on that. Also, I was asking what are some of the points of emphasis this year with the whole broadcast we had last week in Ambridge. Definitely covering our.
I'm not sure what's happening, but where we're having a little bit of a technical issue once again. If you're able to, and I hate to do this, back up as far as you can, maybe out to the numbers, and let's go ahead and try to have this conversation again. So when they talk to you about the lightning strikes and what the procedure is, what are they telling you officially?
They're saying 30 minutes after you see a lightning strike. So we were 3 minutes in, then they got a lightning strike at 7:07. So that restarted the clock. Had one right now too.
Okay. All right, so every time there's a lightning strike, you got to reset it over to 30 minutes once again. And with that, we have at least 30 minutes to be able to fill in covering what's happening here at Aliquippa. And we are now joined in the broadcast booth. The former head coach of Aliquippa, Coach Mike Warfield, joining us. Coach, go ahead and grab that headset.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great.
It's so great to see you. How are you?
It's good to see you. I'm doing great. Can't complain at all.
You are smiling pretty hard. How badly do you want to be on that field?
I mean, I had a little bit of withdrawals about 10 minutes before the game, but I done settled in, so I'm good.
Okay.
Good to see you.
So how difficult was it of a decision for you to decide to walk away from this program that obviously your heart and soul is invested in?
I mean, it was a combination of things. Once, like I explained before, is that, I had a long career in law enforcement, which we did a lot of things, ripping and running across the country, chasing evidence.
Yes.
And also, it's a combination. The second part of it is, I have a responsibility not just for the present, but for the future of the program. And I could stay 5-10 more years and win 100, 150 more games and maybe a few more championships. But is that going to take us 25 years down the road to keep the success of the program 25 years down the road? So we have a good group of young, talented coaches that we just cannot afford to let go just for the sake of the future. And I think Coach Pat is time. It's been since I started 6 years. He's the associate head coach. Mm-hmm. I gave him meaningless jobs to do, important jobs to do, and he did it without hesitation, without complaint, so he's ready.
We're talking with Mike Warfield, the former head coach of the Aliquippa Quips, WPIAL champion, state champion, I mean, that's something no matter what happens from this point forward, it's always yours.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It's more so for the kids. I'm excited or proud of the kids. I mean, for my 6 years, we went there 4 years. We won 4 WPIALs in 3 states. So the batting average was pretty good. But that all has to go into the coaching staff, the assistant coaches, and the players. I mean, you can't do it without the players. I mean, no matter how well or how good you think you is as a coach, if you don't have the players, you don't have the wins.
You know, Coach, everybody sees a head coach on the sideline, and they see you talking to officials, talking to the kids, but it's more than just a head coach. You mentioned a lot of your assistants. But as a head coach, what's the toughest thing that you have to do on a daily basis? What advice would you give to any new head coach? Is it the day-to-day in practice? Is it game management? Is it dealing with media? What's the thing that you think is the toughest thing to deal with?
I think it's a combination of all that. You can't be lax on any of those. I think the most important thing is who you surround yourself with. You got to have people you trust, people you can rely on, especially being here when I first came. You guys was here. We had a dilapidated stadium. I mean, we were a lot of success on the field, but I wanted to change the narrative because that success only got us a dilapidated stadium, no hot water in the field house. We're bigger than that. We're bigger than scoring touchdowns. We had a kid go to Yale this past year.
Yes, you did.
So the academics, we tried to put on the forefront just as much as the athletics.
We talked pregame, and Robert asked the question is, how come so many kids are willing to come up in the system of Quip and willing to sit as freshmen and sophomores while their friends play and wait for their chance to play and stay with the program? In other places, kids leave when they're not playing, but at Quip, kids stick around.
Yes, it's difficult. I mean,
but why do they stay?
Because it's the Aliquippa. I mean, everybody's loyal here. You know, as far as the football program. But the one rule that we have is the best play. We don't play no favoritism, no matter who. If you have a son on the staff, on the field, and a dad on the staff, the best play. And we eliminate all the confusion when we do that. And people understand that. The parents understand that. So that's how we do things.
We mentioned about having a football player that was able to go on to Yale.
Yes.
How important is that to you? It's one thing to have great kids that get the D1 attention and go on to colleges, but to be able to go to an Ivy League school.
That's beautiful. That's priceless.
Is that maybe just as valuable to you as a championship?
That's just as valuable as scoring a touchdown or kids going, a Power 5. I mean, Harrison Walker is being looked at by Harvard.
Oh, yeah.
Tyke just got some offers from Stanford. So these is life changes. It's off the field as well. The kids are starting to understand that the academics portion is just as important as the athletics. People don't know this, but we have a higher standard in Aliquippa. The PIAA only requires for you to have a 1.0 straight D's, but we require you have a 2.0 week to week. So if you don't have a 2.0, we get the kids' grades every Monday. So if they don't have a 2.0, they can't play that week, and they have to go to study table. And we don't budge from that.
Why? Why was that important?
Because we got to make them understand that the academic portion is just as, even more so valuable than the athletic portion. The kids are starting to understand that. Believe it or not, we only have like maybe 4 kids out of the 50 that has under 2.0, and we try to focus on those 4 to get them above that. And if you don't have a 3.0, you're required to go to study table. So my philosophy was, if you got a 3.0, you've taken care of your responsibilities. So kids try to, that's their goal, is to get to that 3.0 so they won't have to go to study table.
Well, it's making them better young men. And let's face it, a lot of these kids won't play past high school. The ones that will have to have the tools to learn in college. And when you get out of college, it doesn't matter what job you do. You're going to have to think for yourself.
Absolutely.
One thing I've noticed about the Quip kids, and I've been doing this for 20-some years, when I talk to especially basketball last year, football, all the guys, every kid, they're not wise guys. They don't act cool to us. They're good young men, and like I'll go other places, and sometimes the kids have an air about them, but I don't sense that from Quip. Yeah, they have that we're Quip mentality, and us against them mentality, but they have that winning mentality. But anytime they talk to us, whether it was Quentin Good, whether it was Cam Lindsay, they had time for us, and they're respectful young men. So it's I think bringing them up, you got to raise men. It takes more than a coach, it takes more than a family.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have a great group of kids. I mean, like you said, they're very mannerable. Some of them have some tough family situations, but that's where we come into play as the coaching staff here, is that we got to be that safety net to catch them in case they fall. So we take pride into that. The kids take pride in themselves. And that was one of the things, not just a new facility for us athletics, but if you have nice things, you're going to take pride in that, which is going to take pride in yourself.
And pride in the community, too.
Yeah, and pride in the community.
You guys have this big event here for the community. There are other schools in Beaver County.
Yes.
They don't want to let kids on the infield. They don't want anybody to participate.
Yes.
You guys, this is a family atmosphere.
Yes.
Everybody, not just the players, it's a community thing.
Yes, Friday at 7, you see us all here for one common goal. And you saw it last year. You see it this year. We're very grateful for Kraft Heinz and what they're doing for us consistently. And then, so we're very grateful. And we don't take it for granted. And, I know Coach Pat won't. I never did. We're not going to let the kids take anything for granted. So that means coming to work every day. That was our motto, is that we're not going to waste a day. No matter if it was raining, we'll wait till it stopped raining and come back out. We're going to get that work in. And then if we win or lose, we let the chips fall. We won't regret anything. As long as we're putting the work in and doing the best we can, we ain't going to look at the scoreboard. We're just going to keep trying to get better.
Mike Azadian, I'm Mangino. Coach Warfield's joining us during this weather delay that we have. There's been lightning that's been discovered, and now we're about 20-25 minutes away from being able to resume the game, hopefully, if there are no more lightning strikes. We talked a little bit about getting the kids to buy in. Sometimes the most difficult people to get to buy in are parents.
Yes.
How were you able to get them?
My philosophy was inclusion instead of exclusion. You know what I mean? We try to get everybody to be a part. And if you're the head coach or you holding the sticks or you working the clock, everybody's role is just as important. That's why I got everybody rings. The maintenance got rings, the stick holders got rings, the guys who work the scoreboard got rings, the secretary got rings. We got the school board got rings, the cheerleaders got rings, the band got rings. The Quipettes got rings. Everybody got rings. Dan got a ring. So we just want to make everybody feel that their part is just as important as being the head coach. So that's how we get the community to buy in.
And that's how you have a coach like Vashon Patrick, who says, I'm experiencing this. I've been here for the past 16 years. I'm in a community that I love, doing the job that I love.
Yes, I'm so proud of Coach Pat. I look at him as my little brother. He's been with me since I started. I didn't make him the associate coach for no reason, because I saw his potential. And in fact, Coach Pat spent more time with the kids than any of us. I mean, he's there in the summer, he's there in the winter, in school, out of school. He loves the kids and the kids love him. So it's just, I'm excited to see his future. And that's what I speak about, is that my responsibility isn't just for the here and now, it's for when I'm gone. Right. And he could take us there.
That's nice.
Let me ask you about some of the kids. Everybody knows about Taiki, of course. We know what he's bringing. But some of the kids that are getting a chance this year that we didn't see last year that much. Larry Moon. Lester Longmire, of course. Marquise Council probably could have been starting as a freshman or a sophomore, but you had Khalil Good. I'm sorry, you had Quentin Good. And then, of course, Khalil Good, I mean, everybody knows what he did, and I've been saying since he's a freshman, he's the next one coming through here. He's the next guy coming through. Talk about some of that young talent.
I mean, the young guys are our future. I think you speak about Marcus. Marcus probably would have started on any other team that we played against last year. He had to wait his turn. I mean, he had a guy in front of him that was 41-2. 3 Whippeals, 2 state championships.
He's a true leader.
He's a true leader.
Did he end up going to school
He didn't want to play athletics, and that's another thing, but he got an academic scholarship.
Where did he go?
He go to Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte. And we was texting back and forth. We was texting back and forth this week because we're going to retire his number.
Good.
Because I think don't look past his high school career.
I agree.
I mean, we got guys in the pros, played in the pros, and their numbers aren't retired.
Right.
But let's specifically talk about his high school career. This dude was 41-2.
And you know what? He could have been the nicest guy we talked to.
41-2.
Every time we talked to him, he was great. And the thing about him, he told me he would have liked to play basketball. He told me he was going to go where the Lord took him.
Yeah.
And he said he might have some opportunities academically. Good for him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's doing good. Like I said, we was texting back and forth this week because I had to tell him we didn't have his shirt ready to present it to him. So we're going to do that on
What
homecoming.
can you tell us about why he decided to not play at the next level? Because clearly there's the talent there to be able to go at least D3 someplace.
I think with the recruiting, sometimes kids get a little discouraged. Okay. I mean, with the transfer portal, it's really hurting our high school kids. The kids that are borderline, that might not be as tall and might not be as big or fast as they used to. Those kids used to get scholarships without the portal. But one thing scouts or recruiters don't look at, you might have a 4-star, but he got a 1-star heart. You know what I mean? Cheese might be a 2-star, but he got a 4-star heart.
And
but he's a winner. They don't measure that. You know what I mean? So
well said.
You know, it's difficult for high school kids that's borderline far as size.
His brother, very quiet, very unassuming, but I remember Quentin's father and Quentin telling me they think that he's going to be more talented than his brother.
Khalil, I tell you what, he is a great personality. Last year, I was just challenging him every day. I would make it. I would intentionally make it complicated for him at practice, and he never broke. He never wavered. And then, as you saw that as the year went by, he got better and better. And I wasn't concerned about can you cover. If you're a safety, I was concerned, can you tackle? And he said, Coach, I might not knock them out, but they're coming down. And you saw that against McKeesport in the Whitfield Championship last year. He made some very, very crucial open field tackles. I mean, everybody talk about the 4 interceptions and the pick 6 in the state game, but in that Whitfield game, he made some very crucial
but he's in the right place. He's in the right place at the right time.
Coach, you're on a leave of absence.
Yes.
Everybody wants to know.
Yes.
What's going to happen in 25?
We'll see. We'll see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enjoy this. I'm an Aliquippa alum. It was just good to sit back and watch and just see Coach Pat and the staff do their work. So I'm excited for him. I really am. But we'll talk about that in December.
Let me ask you another question. And this is your son is in college, and I cannot remember where he went to school.
Yeah, he graduated. He went to Liberty. He played 3 years at Liberty. He graduated in 3 years. He played at Howard last year.
Is he still playing this year?
Yeah, he's going to Gannon. So he got 1 more year eligibility. They got a 1-year NBA program, so he's going to be.
Is he going to play ball there?
He's going to play back. He got that 1 year. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Good for him.
Yeah, so that's close. Liberty was like 6 hours. You know, Howard 5. So this is 2 hours.
It's tough as a coach to be there. And, you can do it in the wintertime, but wintertime travel is a little tougher.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yep, thank you.
It's great
Pleasure having you on. You are welcome in the booth anytime you want.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.
Man.
Coach Mike Warfield joining us in the booth during the weather delay here at Heinz Field. Quips up 6-0 over Belle Vernon. 7:03 to go in the first quarter is when play was stopped. We are hoping that play will resume here in the not-too-distant future. More details coming up on Beaver County Radio.
We all know there's an advantage to being the home team, to playing at home. And at LGKG, we have been your home team for over 90 years.
We're more than just a law firm. We're your friends, your neighbors, an advocate when life takes an unexpected turn.
We're not just lawyers that practice law. We live in this community, just like you.
When you need us most, we're at our best.
The unexpected happens. When it does, you have peace of mind that you can rely on your insurance agent. As an independent agency, S.E. Snyder in Rochester can represent you to several insurance companies, so we can get you the best coverage for the best price. We pride ourselves in customer service and honest sales, so you shouldn't feel pressured with an insurance quote. If you need a quote or have questions about the coverage you need, talk with us until you're satisfied. Call S.E. Snyder Insurance Agency in Rochester today at 724-774-3584.
In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win, or at least a winning smile, by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com. Make your dream of a college degree a reality at Community College of Beaver County. CCBC offers 10 pathways to success, including health sciences, criminal justice, industrial technology, business, and more. Start at CCBC and finish your career or get transfer ready, all at a realistic cost. Enroll today, ccbc.edu.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is now open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced and highly trained staff is here to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop on down to Beaver County's newest firearm store, Tri-State Sporting Arms, at 807 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check them out on Facebook. It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
We are in a weather delay at Heinz Field in Aliquippa. The Quip's up 6-0 over Belle Vernon. If you are just joining us, the way that we got here, Belle Vernon took the opening kickoff after Aliquippa won the coin toss. They deferred, and in the course of a series on a third down play, Belle Vernon throws an interception, and Khalil Good, after his interceptions from the state championship game last year, 3 in the state championship game, starts off this season with an interception, and then Tyke Hayes puts one in over the left side from about 3 yards out. They go up 6-0. Extra point was missed, and they were able to hold Belle Vernon to a punt and then took possession around the 17-yard line, their own 17-yard line, and then lightning struck, and then the officials decided the game had to be delayed. Tank Latham, the eXp Realty sideline report. Tank, what did you hear from the officials, and what does it look like now? How long could we be waiting before we start play again?
All right, so I talked to the head referee there, and he said basically every time they see lightning strike, it's another half-hour clock. So we just seen one at about 7:30. We're looking at 8 o'clock. I was looking at the radar on my phone. Hopefully we get some of this stuff in here, because at 9:30 this place looks like it's all out red, and I'm not just talking about all the quips red here.
Okay, so we have some severe weather coming in about an hour and a half's time, maybe 2 hours' time. So hopefully we can get at least some of this game in. It could be a possibility of where it just isn't able to be completed. All right, Tank, thank you very much. Do appreciate that. If you follow high school football at the Beaver County Times, I am sure that you've read a number of stories by Ethan Morrison. I have, and getting ready for my football game coverage. I know Mike Azadian has too, and Ethan's joining us right now. Well, Ethan, thank you very much for stopping by the broadcast.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So, to give us a little bit of background about yourself and covering high school football in Beaver County.
Yeah, so I started freelancing for the Beaver County Times about 3 years ago. Started just doing stats for them, just some things from behind the scenes. And then these past 2 years, I've been getting out to games, and just recently in July, I started full-time with the Beaver County Times as their sports reporter. So I've been around the area my whole life, had family, grew up in Beaver County, so I know the history and the culture of Beaver County football around the area. But, you know, it's been a blast just being able to cover all these great teams and just being able to work my way up over these past couple of years.
Well, you've done a fantastic job in your reporting of the games and in preparation for the broadcast as well. Let's talk a little bit about this game tonight. Aliquippa, Belle Vernon. It seems like I saw the reporting and the predictions from the entire staff over at the Beaver County Times. Everybody is looking at Aliquippa being able to win this game. How much of that is because you better choose Aliquippa you're the Beaver County Times, and how much of that is Aliquippa? There's just too much that they bring to the table.
I think it's too much. I mean, Belle Vernon, they lost Quentin Martin, their running back that went to Penn State, is playing at Penn State now. That was a big piece of their offense last year. So, and this is Belle Vernon is also their first game of the year trying to navigate. Without him, they still have a pretty decent running back tandem, but I mean, without him, that's a major loss to the offense. But just what Aliquippa has, it's just way too much, especially their secondary. Khalil Good with that interception early on in the first quarter, and just with the pieces that they have, J.J. Work and Larry Moon also coming into the program, it's just an overpowered secondary, and then with the guys they still have offensively, it's just way too much for anyone to really handle.
Ethan, we talked last week on a show about all the Beaver County teams, and again, everybody knows Quip. We feel that Central Valley is a team to watch out for. Beaver is a team to watch out for. Other than the three we just talked about, anybody else with a chance to really do something this year in your mind?
I think Olsh, with their bolstered roster and what they were able to get in the cooperative agreement that they have with Eden Christian Academy and Propel Montour, they have a lot of younger guys that can make strides. Ty Hawkins, one of those guys, a wide receiver. They still have Van Cavels, who's coming back off of off a broken leg from last year, so they still have a lot of great pieces. And moving up to 2A, they're in a tough section right now with the teams that they play, but I think they also have a shot to make a run in the postseason.
How about Beaver Falls last week? Lost big to Blackhawk, and it was a big surprise to a lot of people. Is that more Blackhawk way better than we thought we were, or Beaver Falls losing almost everybody?
I think it's a little bit of both. Blackhawk, obviously, new head coach Jake Wickline, and players seem to really be feeding off of his energy and what he brings to the table. But Beaver Falls, they just lost so much last year, losing their two big running backs, losing their quarterback as well. So they lost a lot of pieces from the Whippeal Championship team that they had from a year ago to now. So, I mean, I think Blackhawk, they definitely did get better, and they have a lot of guys that returned that are making an impact. But, yeah, Beaver Falls, they just lost a ton of talent.
Last week we covered the Ambridge Western Beaver game, and a little bit of a surprise that Javen Peel, after his freshman season, really seemed to struggle. And maybe was it about the fact that he just lost those key guys at wide receiver, two wide receivers that went on to play at the collegiate level, running back, they lost him as well. They're just not the right skill guys around him at this point.
I think it's going to take some time for him to adjust, not only to that, but obviously with everything that went on with him throughout the offseason, with him transferring out of Western Beaver and back into the program. So he didn't really get a full camp with these guys and was still wavering on whether he would be eligible for the season or not up until probably 2 weeks before the regular season started. So I think that has a little bit to deal with that as well. But I think it's going to take some time for him to connect with these other guys, with these new receivers that he didn't have a chance to really throw to. Chris Kirkland this year, now coming into his senior year. So it's going to take some time for them to adjust. But I think more credit on Ambridge as well. They returned 17 seniors for Sherman McBride's squad, and he's really high on those guys and what he's been able to build. So I think Ambridge is that up-and-coming team. They're in a tough section in the Parkway Conference, but they're going to be a tough team to beat.
You know what? Let's talk. We're going through all of Beaver County. Let's talk a little bit. We talked a little bit about Freedom. They won last week. They got a matchup this week against Rochester, I believe.
Yep.
Last year, last couple years, they didn't play well. A lot of people didn't think much of them, but they returned some skilled players, and they have a chance. I wouldn't say a good chance, but an outside chance at least to make the playoffs and be better than last year. What are your thoughts on the Freedom Bulldogs?
I definitely think they have a lot of returning guys. Cooper Young being one of those skill guys that are coming back, and I think what Ron Baylog has done in his first full offseason, what he was able to do to build that culture around this Freedom program, especially after John Rosa left at the end of the 2022 season, I think he's building something special there. And it's a loaded Midwestern conference there, but I think they have a chance to sneak in with Elwood City and those teams up at the top of that conference.
You mentioned Elwood City. They lost last week. Dan Bradley's team. A lot of people thought they would be one of the most improved teams in the area, and for sure playoff team. Lost last week. They were good enough to make the playoffs. Are they good enough again to make the playoffs?
They did win in overtime. They did win in overtime.
I thought they lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they did win in overtime. I think they do have a great shot. They only lost 5 guys from the 2023 season to now this season. They still got Elijah Palmer-McCain and Chris Smiley, who are two of their key pieces, and Caden Daccio on the defensive side. So they still got a lot of key pieces left there from that group that made the playoffs last year that I still think can make a sizable impact this year and boost them into the playoffs.
What is it about Dan Bradley? He goes to Osh, he wins a championship. He wins and competes at Avonworth in basketball. He was at Stowe Rocks and won championships. He seems to be able to build programs up. What is it about him? I've talked to him numerous times, but I'm sure you've talked to him too. But what's your feeling on why he's been able to do what he's done everywhere and now doing it at Elwood City?
I think he just knows how to lead a program and just revitalize programs and really connect with these players. I mean, Elwood City, from where they were 3 years ago when he took over, was absolutely nothing. Could barely win a game in the regular season to now where they were qualifying for the playoffs for the first time in 13 years. I just think he knows how to connect with players and really just be able to build programs up.
Ethan Morrison with us from the Beaver County Times. We are in a weather delay because of a lightning strike. The last reported one was about 20 minutes ago. Hopefully, we were within about 10 minutes of being able to have the players come back on the field. Then there will be obviously warm-up time, and then so it could still be another 15 minutes or so after that. We have our own Tank Latham going down to the field and talking to one of the officials about that. Ethan, help us out here. Looking at some of the scores that are taking place so far, the Hurricanes up on Hopewell 14-3. Newcastle's really been struggling as of late. They have a new head coach. They're trying to turn things around. What does this score tell you?
I mean, I think Hopewell, it's a little bit surprising because what Hopewell was able to do last week with James Armstrong in his first start of his high school career, it's surprising to me, especially with a team like Newcastle, who has struggled in years past. It's a little bit of a surprising score, but yeah, Hopewell, they lost their starting quarterback right at the beginning of the year. Kingston Kotek broke his leg, so I mean that's a big loss, and especially with a team that's still trying to build up and rebuild after struggling these past couple of years. It's a little bit surprising to see, especially after the outing that they put together last week.
It's one thing to be able to select who your week 0 team is going to be, and Central Valley last week decided let's go ahead and see what we can do against Montour. But then they got to wonder who they upset over at the WPIAL office. That they're playing Thomas Jefferson tonight, and then they get Belle Vernon the very next week. And they are trailing right now against Thomas Jefferson, 14-13 in the second quarter. Central Valley, on paper, this is a team that has every reason to believe they can go to the WPIAL and deep into the state playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. They still return a lot of guys from last season's team, and I think this is these first 3 weeks of the regular season for them, and then they got Beaver right after, or 2 weeks. They got Belle Vernon next week, and then a few weeks after that, they have Beaver, big matchup with Beaver. I mean, yeah, they have every reason to believe that they can compete for a WPIAL title and make a run in the state playoffs just with the pieces that they have. But yeah, these first 3 weeks, it's going to be a very tough test for them, but I think it's going to be a good test. And I think Mark Lyons is really preparing this squad to make that deep postseason run, and these first couple weeks of the season are going to be crucial for them.
Tank, let's go to the field to you if we could here for a moment. You just had the opportunity to speak with the officials. What are they telling you?
So you
and we're continuing to have these technical issues. My understanding is that we are looking at an 8 o'clock time for the players to come out, which is about 7-8 minutes from now, and then they're going to give them 3 minutes of warm-up. Mike, 3 minutes doesn't seem like it's a lot of warm-up time considering they've been sitting now in the locker room for a good 45 minutes to an hour.
Walking around in there and trying to get up and stay loose somehow. But, that isn't a lot of time. I suspect they might just go with the next 3 quarters and try to get done because we're supposed to have a lot of bad weather at 9:30. If you send them in at halftime and then you get this rain in the third or fourth quarter, you could ruin a good game. We'll see. Ethan, if we can, one team we didn't talk about was Rochester, the Rams. Gene Matzook's program. He's had great teams for the years. The last handful of years, they're playoff teams, but they've had a lot of injuries, and there's been a spate of bad luck. For all the good that they've had over the years, they've got good kids, but they lose top players every year. So that's what do you expect from the Rams this year? And they lost their first game last week.
Yeah, they lost to Olsh last week. I mean, I think their defense they played very well for what the Olsh offense had going up against them. But yeah, they just need to stay healthy. I mean, Antonio Laurie is still out, I believe. He's dealing with an injury. Didn't get a lot of information on
what that. He was out
half
of last year.
Yeah, he was out with an injury last year. I think it's something different this year, but he's out. So that's like a very big piece of their offense that is out, and I think is still out this week. So yeah, I mean, they just need to stay healthy. They have some good pieces, but it's all about staying healthy throughout the course of the year.
New coach at New Brighton, new coach at Riverside. Both teams struggled mightily last year. New Brighton won last week to stop their 23-game losing streak.
Yeah.
So a little bit of hope in that program.
Absolutely, yeah. New Brighton with John McCuller. I had a chance to talk to him this week, and just what he was able to do from when he took over in April to now, and just rebuilding that culture and just trying to bring this New Brighton team back to its roots. I think it's just something very special for what everyone's witnessing. He says the whole town's behind them now, and that's something that they didn't get a chance to have around them these past couple of years. And he was on the staff during those 2 years when they lost, and he was coaching under Joe Greco and last year with Tony Calteri's staff. So he's seen the struggles of this program, and he seems like that guy to revitalize this New Brighton Lions program.
Luke Travelpiece over at Southside.
Yep.
Able to make it to the WPIAL final last year, had a tremendous run. And there's a lot of talk about, well, that was because he had a couple of key players that were the real difference makers. How much of it is about the guys that are on the field? How much of it is about the culture, the mindset, and what he's able to get out of the talent that he has?
I think you saw it last week and how they were just able to defeat Stowe Rocks 44-8. I mean, it looked more of the same from what they were able to do from an offensive standpoint. Yeah, they lost a lot of key pieces, and I was interested to see how that game would play out because Stowe Rocks, I mean, they've struggled a little bit. They've been up and down, but for what they were able to do with a new quarterback under center in Will Morgan, but they still return a lot of the key pieces on the offensive side of the ball, Slayton Williams, and then also defensively as well with Curtis Roy. That Roy family name has been a very big name in that Southside program for years. So I think having those players that have seen the success that this Southside team has had over the past 5-6 years, that's paying dividends for them now, especially with some of this new guard coming in.
You know what? I see you someday being on ESPN, one of these shows. He's knowledgeable. I told you.
He is.
He can be. I'm trying to think of teams we didn't talk about yet. We didn't talk about Beaver a lot. Talking to Court Rouse, everybody calls him Kurt, but it's Court Rouse. The last couple of years, he's been building for this. They bring almost everybody back. The skill guys are back. He's been working on building the line. He's built this program. They were this close last year to being a top seed in the WPL playoffs. They lost to Avonworth by just plays each game. They're in a tough section, obviously. They're going to have to play some tough teams, obviously. But talk to us about Beaver, because they're a team, in my opinion, that a lot of people don't talk about, and because it's Beaver, and they haven't had a lot of success. But I think they're a team that you really better watch out for.
No, yeah, you definitely better watch out for them come October, November, and when the playoffs roll around, because they're just a team that has that culture built up from these past 2-3 years, and what Court's been able to build in his 3 to 4 seasons now has just been very special. And just what they were able to do last week against Westinghouse just really shows what they've got in the tank now with the guys that they have returning. So, I mean, I think it's going to be very, very special to see what they can do throughout the regular season and into the postseason.
Ethan Morrison with the Beaver County Times joining us during this weather delay. It looks as though they are ready to bring the players back out onto the field.
And they're bringing
Quips
fans
coming out of their locker room, the fans coming back in. So we may be within about 3 to 5 minutes of resuming this game. Ethan, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Had a great time talking to you.
Thank you. Nice talking to you,
Ethan,
too.
You're the greatest. Thanks, you for
Mike.
your help, buddy.
All right, we'll come back. We'll get another report from Tank Latham from the eXp Realty sideline and find out what's happening here, get the latest details. Once again, the Quips up 6-0 over the Leopards on Beaver County Radio.
Get ready to kick off your game day with everything you'll need for tailgate parties from Fisher's Foodland in New Brighton. Party trays, snacks, beverages. If you're looking for food ideas to make your tailgate party unforgettable, Fisher's has it all. Fisher's Foodland is a complete independently owned and operated grocery store focused on your daily needs for the whole family. Remember, football season is a great reason to visit Fisher's Foodland in New Brighton. Al's Pizza, next to Fisher's Beverage in New Brighton, is open. Yes, the owner of the food truck whose pizza you enjoy has a storefront in New Brighton. Next to Fisher's Beverage, Al's Pizza is open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Al's Pizza also has hoagies, calzones, pepperoni rolls, and gluten-free options. If you like pickles, you'll love their pickle pizza. Yes, pickle pizza. So stop out and see Al next to Fisher's Beverage in New Brighton for a pizza for your tailgates this football season. Your Beaver County McDonald's restaurants are proud to partner with Beaver County Radio in sponsoring all the local high school football games this season. Stop into any of your local McDonald's restaurants for everyday value items like 2 for $3 mix and match, sausage burrito, sausage McMuffin, and hash browns. Don't forget to download the app for extra special savings. Looking for a great part-time job? Visit mchire.com today to apply. Good luck to all the Beaver County football teams this season from your local McDonald's restaurants. I'm loving it.
I'm Tiani, and I'm Equip.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm a Bobcat.
Hi, I'm Cassie, and I'm a Warrior.
I'm David, and I'm a Warrior.
Hi, I'm Dominique, and I'm Equip.
This is Daniel from Hopewell, a proud Viking. Well, it's true that when it's game time, we might be on different sides. It's the other team that we are all part of, a team that will make a real difference once the season is over. That's because we are all training for a very long and profitable postseason at the Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
For 45 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating top-notch performers from all local Beaver County high schools. Our spirited recruits have made the starting lineup and performed like all-stars in many different fields.
Why not join our team? Visit bcctc.org, celebrating 45 years as the best place to start a career. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
Let's go down to the sideline and get the latest in the EXP Realty Sideline Report. Here's Tank Latham. Tank?
Hey guys, I got some new batteries here. Hopefully it helps us out a little bit. So the guys are down here. They are warming up, getting ready to kick off, or not kick off, take over the game again. Once again, they got 3 minutes. Looks like we got about another minute and a half here to get ready to go back to some good old Western PA football.
Now we're talking, Mike. Football action back into play here.
That sounds good. Tank sounds great now. With
he does. He sounds fantastic. Now,
I'm getting my steps in going up and down these things. Like I know that they don't like New Brighton boys here in Aliquippa, but
you got your smartwatch on. Are the steps counting? Because they only count if you're wearing your watch.
Oh, I always got that on. You should see my tan lines.
That's not.
Okay. Now, my understanding is that not only are you a sideline reporter, you are also a meteorologist. As you were checking the radar a little while ago, what did you see coming our way?
I saw a whole lot of bad weather about 9:30, right over top of Aliquippa right here. It's going to be opening up, so hopefully we get enough of this game in here to call it a game. If not, let's get all 4 quarters in.
Tank, before the game started, once that game started, talk about the atmosphere with this packed crowd here tonight.
Oh, it was electric down here. The players were so excited. I could see the kids were they were all jacked up, ready to go. The fans up here, they're excited. The kids, they are loving the high school kids. They're looking up to them, just like you said before. It starts out the little guys, and it works up through the parents.
Tank, do me one more favor. See if you can talk to the referee who just walked behind you, not on the air, but see if there's any willingness, considering the weather that's expected, to have them play straight through and not take a halftime in order to get as much of this game in as possible. What their plans are, considering the weather.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you very much. So, Mike, when you've covered high school football here in Beaver County for all the years that you've done so, have you ever experienced anything like this before?
I've had one time years ago. I was with Mr. Don Rebel when we were at Duquesne, old Duquesne High School, and you could see it coming from where we were at, and everybody left the stands and me, Dawn, and 3 other people stayed in a wooden press box, and it just came on us, and it was scary, I got to tell you. And I've seen a couple of delays because of lightning. This one's a little longer than some.
So you had your doubts that press box was going to support you?
It shook. We looked at each other and thought, uh-oh. You know what, though? I mean, whether at this time of year we get either bad rain or we get these thunderstorms and there's delays, and I got a feeling we're going to have some games won't finish here in Western Pennsylvania.
Do you think that this delay benefits either team at this point?
You know what? I mean, it gives Belle Vernon a chance to go and say, look, guys, you guys have got to find ways to block better, because we're never going to run against this team if you guys don't block. So they may change some schemes, change some guys, and they also have to get the quarterback to release the ball quicker on his throws, because he's throwing in a double coverage. They're going to kill him all night long if they do that.
Yeah,
so
Curtis White, he's had a couple of openings.
He has, but it may benefit them. Quip is going to be Quip. I think those kids are going to be ready, whether they're playing in mud or they're playing in I don't really worry about them too much, but I think this could benefit Belle Vernon, the team that's losing.
All right, once again, the Quips are up 6-0 against the Leopards. The teams have taken the field. They've gone through their warm-ups. It looks as though the officials are getting into place, and they're about to get this game going again. Aliquippa has the ball on their own 17-yard line. They are going from left to right as you are imagining this. And don't forget, you can watch the game. There are opportunities, obviously, to just listen, but there's only one way you're going to watch this game and hear the broadcast at the same time, and it's if you go to Facebook and you find Beaver County Radio, you're going to get the entire broadcast, not only the broadcast, but also, this is what's great about Curtis and why he is the most outstanding producer in radio today, because he handles the radio responsibilities and the streaming responsibilities. He's even handling all the instant replay responsibilities, too. Okay, so Aliquippa has it. 17-yard line. They're stacked up tight. Handoff over the right side. Coming over to the right side. Trying to find some room. Tyke Ace can't find it. Gets strung out of bounds. Player loses his helmet for Belle Vernon. And a flag is on the play.
Well, we'll see what the flag bears. And right away, kids get excited. And that's a holding call. You're going to get those kind of things happen, but it's the offsides plays, the guys hitting each other out of bounds. There's a lot of different things you see in the beginning of the year like this.
And that may be the way that Belle Vernon, if they're going to figure out a way of stopping Aliquippa, it's instead of 1st and 10, you back them up to a 1st and 20. And if you can have enough of those situations in play, maybe they have a better chance of winning this game.
Exactly. It's mistakes, and you want to prevent mistakes. Let's get this up over so we don't knock each other out here.
Okay.
It's mistakes, and that's the one thing that can hurt the Quip. So right now they're backed up. They can't afford to fumble or have a problem back here at the 7-yard line.
Marquise Council Jr. under center, I formation. Everybody else is in tight. Handoff over the left side. Tyke Hayes has it. Gets out to about the 10-yard line. Pickup of 1, maybe 2.
We know you give Tyke enough, you give him the ball enough, you give him enough, he finds a hole. Once he hits a hole, look out. You can't tackle him one-on-one. I'm surprised they haven't gone to the outside with him, but that could be because Belle Vernon has such good athletes on the outside of defensive back. But eventually they're going to try to sweep wide with him. I don't know if they're going to do it on 2nd and 18, but don't be surprised to see him run the ball again.
All right, Aliquippa has it once again. 2nd down, they're at the 10-yard line. Everybody's in tight. Stacked up tight ends to the right-hand side. Toss out to Tyke. Looking for some room. Can't find it. Belle Vernon strings that play out nicely. No gain.
Well, I thought outside, but I got to tell you, they contained it. They all saw it coming, and 4 or 5 guys were right there. And Aliquippa tried to block, but the blocking wasn't efficient. He gets a yard, and that's not a lot. So now 3rd down. I don't know if they want to risk passing. They might. But I have a feeling it's Tyke again, and if they have to punt, they let their defense do the talking. They don't want to make a mistake down here.
3rd and 17 from just outside the 10, just short of the 11-yard line. Aliquippa set shotgun formation, running back to either side of Council. Wide receivers, twins out to the left. Tyke's in motion, looking over that way. Can't find anybody. Scrambling, looking for somewhere to go. Belle Vernon gets a sack. Belle Vernon, great tackle, wonderful takedown. Number 4, Alonzo Wade, one of the returning starters from last year, getting Marquise Council in the backfield.
Mr. Council's carrying that ball like a loaf of bread, and he's got it in his hand. And, boy, he's lucky he didn't fumble that ball. But good thing for him he didn't. That'll bring up 4th down. They're going to have to punt from in their end zone.
4th and 19. Back to punt. Malachi Shagog. He is in his own end zone. He's at the bottom portion of the I, and he is waiting for the snap. Set back deep to return is Anthony Cruz.
There's a flag. I don't know what that is, but
it's a sideline warning against Aliquippa.
Tank tells me that Belle Vernon, 8 or 9 guys in the box, daring them to throw, and they were able to get the sack. So good defense by Belle Vernon.
Yeah, if you don't have confidence that they're going to be able to throw against you, you can go deep that way. And we have the kick away. It was a bumbled return. They're going for it back at the 45, the 40-yard line. It was been recovered by Aliquippa at the 41. Back to return was Anthony Cruz. It went right through his hands at around the 45 and then recovered right around the 41-yard line of Belle Vernon. So Aliquippa's in business, 1st and 10.
Interesting. So they get the ball right back. And you know what? What did we talk about? You make a mistake against this team, look out. I mean, they punch it in here. They're going to be up 2 scores, and Aliquippa's the type of team that you make a mistake, they take advantage. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to throw long on the first play.
Council back in shotgun. Running backs on either side. Twin wide receivers to the left. He's looking that way. Has a guy open over the middle, and just over the outstretched hand. Unable to connect with Harrison Walker. It was so close.
I got to tell you, I almost know what they're thinking. They're the type of team, they want to put the nail in the coffin early. They like to do that. You make mistakes against them, they go for it, and that was close, boy. It was not a bad throw. It was just one of those where his body was turned at a weird angle, and he was trying to catch it and keep his body at the same time, and he just couldn't do it.
Tyke Hayes is set up in the tailback position. Fullback in front of him, Avery Coleman. And a high end off to Tyke up the middle, picks up 1, maybe 2, just inside the 40-yard line.
Now, Belle Vernon's doing a good job up the middle as well. They're tough to run against right now. Both lines, I think, are playing well, Robert. Aliquippa has not been able to run the ball very well. Tyke with a handful of yards, but their defense is bottling them up so far.
So now we're looking at 3rd and 8, ball on the 39-yard line. Aliquippa getting it on a muffed punt by Anthony Cruz for Belle Vernon, after Belle Vernon was able to hold them to a 3rd and 19 after a holding penalty, and Aliquippa wasn't able to move the ball. 3rd and 8, near side, penalty flags coming in. Belle Vernon is clapping, and they're excited about this. They're anticipating it's going to go against Aliquippa.
Wow, that's going to lock Quip back 5 at least, so that's going to make it 3rd and long, even longer after the loss of. Actually, the scoreboard's wrong. They had it at 3rd and 13, and really it was 3rd and 7. So now it's going to knock it back, and now it's going to be 3rd and 13.
All right, so we're at 3rd down. Belle Vernon 44. Council back to pass, looking for an opening. Wide receiver screen to Tyke Hayes at the 40, 35, 30, 25. Still on his feet, breaks a tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Tyke Hayes.
I'll tell you what, enjoy it now. Enjoy it now. Because that kid, if he keeps progressing, he is amazing in open space. You can't tackle him one-on-one, Robert. There he is again. He gets the ball. They should be doing that more often. He goes all the way.
And there's a penalty flag on the field right around the 17-yard line, right in the middle of the hash marks. And it looks as though they're going to call this play back.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
We are waiting for an official call. They called a penalty at around the 12-yard line. They're backing them up all the way to the 27.
Boy, it's got to be, a hold or something? I don't know. But, boy, let's just talk about Tyke a little bit more, shall we? He catches the ball. He gets ahead of speed. You can't stop the young man. You just can't. It's amazing to watch him play football.
Yeah, once you're out in space, expecting somebody else to tackle him one-on-one, it's just not going to happen.
I hope he really does well at the next level. I'm looking forward to it.
Aliquippa now, 1st and 10. Ball at the 27, right in the middle of the field. They're going from left to right. They're up by 6 over Belle Vernon. Council back to pass. Looking to his left, finds somebody, an incomplete pass. Belle Vernon was able to cover that play very well over the top, trying to make connection with Walker, but just not able to do it.
You know, Council, he's had some time to throw, but the right side of his line, Robert, it's broken down a couple times, and Aliquippa hasn't been able to protect him as well as you would think. So he's rushed his throws a couple of times. He does have a strong arm, but he's missed a couple of times on throws that could have been caught.
That penalty that nullified the touchdown was apparently a fighting call against Aliquippa. Thank you very much, Tank, for the details on that. Appreciate it. Toss out to the left side. Running back Sanier Brooks has it, and Belle Vernon able to string him out. Pickup of about 2.
Yeah, Tank saying that he pushed to his head after the play, and that's why the fighting call. That's kind of surprising. You can't do stuff like that, and you're going to get called. We don't want to single any young kid out, but, hey, got to be smarter than that.
We have the offensive line, Justice Starks, Devon Humphreys, Javian Cleckley, Kingston Wilcox, and Miles Green for Aliquippa. All right, Council back, shotgun. Has Brooks to his left side. 4 wide receivers, 3 on the right side. Wide receiver screen, pass, caught at the 20-yard line. Great catch by Khalil Good.
Good catch by him. They did get some yards, but I tell you one thing, better tackling, and they stopped him from getting the first down. Belle Vernon, good coverage. He leaned, but they got him by the ankle, so it's 4th and 3. And at this point, at the 19, they're going to go for it, Robert.
Antonio Reddick on the reception.
Oh, it was Reddick? Okay.
Yeah, Antonio Reddick. All right, Aliquippa back. 4th down, 2 yards to go. Everybody's in tight. Tyke at the top of the eye, broken eye. Great penetration by Belle Vernon, but the second effort by Tyke Hayes, just able to run right through that tackle, get the first down.
Yeah, Belle Vernon kids are saying, no, he didn't get it, but he has the strongest legs, Mr. Mangino. He just pushes, and that's why they gave it to him. A lot of teams wouldn't run on 4th and 3 like that, but they're not afraid to give it to Tyke. Big first down, keeps his drive going.
Rain is coming down now at Heinz Field. Conditions impacting the stability and the ability of the teams to be able to control the football. We'll see what kind of impact that ultimately has. Sanier Brooks is in the backfield, broken eye, handoff over the left side toward the middle, and he spins around, breaks a tackle, breaks it out left side. Touchdown, Sanier Brooks. Great run by Brooks. Brooks, once again, big touchdown. Central Catholic last year, recruited by West Virginia and a number of other schools. How about this? You played at Central Catholic, you're recruited by big-time schools like West Virginia, and you have to play second string to a guy like Tyke Hayes.
And you know what? But it doesn't matter. You'll still get noticed. You will still get noticed by very good teams because they come to practice. They know how good he is.
That's one of the things about playing here at Aliquippa is that you're going to be able to have so many recruiters that are coming in and taking a look at the big guys like a Tyke Hayes and then be able to see some of the other players as well. All right. Council, shotgun formation, fakes the handoff inside, breaks it out right side, 2-point conversion. Aliquippa now up 14-0. A minute 49 to go in the first quarter. The Quips up big, 2 scores on Beaver County Radio.
I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
14-0. Aliquippa over Belle Vernon, and they've looked absolutely dominant in this first quarter. There was that one series where they had a holding penalty, backed them up 10 yards, 1st and 20. Weren't able to get things going, but with that punt by Shagog and then the muff return by Cruz, they were able to capitalize on that turnover just like they did the interception in the previous
2 turnovers.
possession.
We said it in pregame. I've said it all. You cannot turn the ball over against Belle Vernon. You can't do it against Aliquippa. You can't do it against good teams. They make you pay. And if you don't make teams pay, then they take advantage of that. So quit doing what you're supposed to do. Take advantage of turnovers.
Aliquippa, there's a flag on the field right around the 14-yard line, and the referee, Tony Lascola, just called an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Aliquippa. So it looks as though they're going to take the 2-point conversion off the field, off the scoreboard, because Belle Vernon is still at the 3-yard line, anticipating a 2-point conversion attempt or some type of extra point attempt. And Aliquippa looking to be setting up here.
Yeah, they're going to move back. Yep, they're moving back 5. So, yeah, you're right. They took it off.
Tony Lascola, the referee. Head linesman is Darren Bauer. Side judge is Kurt Frazier. Umpire Eric Stusich. Line judge Kevin Malone, and Michael Spagnolo is the field judge today in this non-conference game.
You know, they're doing their job too. I mean, I've been on the field where referees don't make the calls, and then things start getting rough, and you start getting coaches screaming and yelling, and you know you gotta stop that stuff. So they're calling the plays like they see them.
All right, Aliquippa still in 2-point conversion position. It looks as though they're now going to get hit with a delay of game penalty.
Oh boy!
On top of that.
That's the kind of stuff you got to work out in practice.
How much of this is just week 1 stuff?
Yes, that's it. You work on some of this in practice, but some of this is kids that don't always play a lot, and you know you just got to know when it's your turn to get on there for special teams.
So we're looking at Aliquippa at the 13-yard line, and this is a 2-point conversion attempt. Council back. Running back on his right side, 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, going out to the pass. He's scrambling to his right, finds a receiver, intercepted in the end zone, and they are able to stop the 2-point conversion, so the Quip's up just 12-0, and it looks as though there's going to be another penalty. Flags are flying right near the Aliquippa bench.
I think someone and they're running from the Belle Vernon. All the coaches are running from the sideline to pull their kids away. It looked to me like someone got hit late. The gentleman that did the interception kind of knew he couldn't run it back, so he started to go out of bounds, and he got hit. So I don't know who the flag's against, but a lot of the Quip coaches ran quickly to break it up as well. So credit to both staffs to prevent something worse.
All right, we're waiting for referee Tony Lascola to give us the official sign. Is this going to be offsetting penalties here, or is it going to be against Aliquippa? We do definitely have an official's timeout because there is a Belle Vernon player that is in the end zone that is dealing with cramps.
Hope he's okay, man. This is the time of year for it. No doubt.
So the officials are gathering around the 30-yard line discussing all of this. All of them have come in. The coaching staff for Belle Vernon is now back to their sideline. But for a moment there, it really looked as though we were having some kind of a battle going on. And that one referee, that one official, must have thrown his flag a good 30, 40 feet in the air.
My question is it the hit out of bounds? Is it the pushing afterwards? What are they throwing the flag for? For them to all converge like this, we'll find out. Something tells me they're going to do both sides, and it'll be offsetting.
Here comes the official call. He's not mic'd up, but it's a personal foul against Aliquippa.
Oh, he's mic'd up.
We're not able to get it inside the booth. So
right. You're good point.
The crowd is able to hear him. We're not able to. Let's put it that way. But based upon the hand signals, it was a personal foul call against Aliquippa. And so that was after the 2-point conversion. They're now going to kick off initially from the 40. They may back them all the way up to the 25.
They may. You're right about that. I got to tell you that, to me, like I said, it looked like he was giving himself up, going out of bounds, and he got hit afterwards. And a couple of Belle Vernon players didn't like it, and
so we're going to keep it right here.
So they kicked the guy out of the game. They kicked Larry Moon out.
Larry Moon's been ejected from the game.
Yep.
Wow, Larry Moon III, the transfer from Central Catholic, has over 36 schools looking at him, including Notre Dame, Alabama, USC. I mean, you pick the big-time school, and they won his attention, including Penn State, Pitt, West Virginia as well. Wow. That's just not the way you want your team to come out. The mistakes when it comes to penalties, and then you have this issue where you have a personal foul, you get involved in the fighting. Then there was a play earlier where a touchdown by Tyke Hayes was called back because of a strike to a player's head for Belle Vernon from Aliquippa. Just not the way Aliquippa plays football.
You want the kids to be tough, and you want them to tackle, and you want them to be fierce, but you got to know where the line is. You got to.
Wow, they are kicking off from their own 12. So normally the kickoff is at the 40, but they backed them all the way up to their own 12-yard line for the kick, and it looks like Malachi Shagog will be handling the duties, and we just saw lightning. And with the rain coming down and now the lightning strike, it looks as though they're going to delay the game again. And Aliquippa players are now going to their locker room under the Heinz Field banner. And it looks as though the Belle Vernon players are going to be going to their locker room. And we are about an hour away from what Tank was saying earlier was some pretty severe weather coming in around 9:30. Now the question becomes, do the coaches get together with the officials, talk this thing out, and then decide what they want to do? It looks as though right now they're just going to go ahead and take them inside. Tank, if you could, we're going to pause here for a moment, see if you can talk to the referee and get some insights. I know he's talking to the Aliquippa coaching staff. It may be about some of the penalties earlier. It may be about where we are at this point, too. So, Tank, find that out. We'll come back and talk to him and get more details. It's 12-0. Aliquippa over Belle Vernon. 1:49 to go still in the first quarter right here on Beaver County Radio.
Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but the game of life is a lot easier to play when you're insured with the best. More than 117 years has proven the Henderson Agency in Aliquippa knows what it takes to provide their customers with the best insurance for their needs. Auto, home, motorcycle, boat, or business. They pride themselves on good, old-fashioned friendly service and represent several insurance companies, including Progressive, National General, an Allstate company, and Mutual Benefit. The Henderson Agency, Aliquippa.
Looking for that special home or wanting to sell yours? Let the Lisa Latham team, brokered by eXp Realty, help you. Hi, I'm Tank Latham, and our goal is to make you feel comfortable whether buying or selling. Lisa and I strive to make the process as smooth and as easy as possible. We invite you to visit the all-new eXp office located at 926 3rd Avenue, New Brighton. Give us a call at 724-307-5472. Check out Beaver County Home Inventory on our website, lisalatham.com. The Lisa Latham team, results that move you.
In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win, or at least a winning smile, by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
No matter what the circumstances, no matter the reason, one of the few things that is left when a loved one passes on are the memories. Staging those memories in an honoring way is one of the reasons so many people have chosen J&J Spratt Funeral Home. A person's legacy depends on a lifetime of accomplishments and then how they are remembered. J&J Spratt Funeral Home has helped start the process of creating positive legacies for over 70 years. Visit jjsprattfh.com. Joseph M. Spratt, Supervisor and Funeral Director.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall, in love that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
Back to school season means back to your credit union season. Before you pack the lunchbox, be sure and pack your wallet. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union and get the cash supply you'll need so that you can buy the school supplies that they will need. This is Cindy Hiladio. Stop into the principal's office and see me to sign up for an easy-to-manage personal signature loan. They're now available from $500 to $10,000 with approved credit. Friendly Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
Welcome back. I'm Mangino. Mike Azadian with me in the booth, and Tank Latham is on the sideline, and he is speaking to the officials right now, trying to get an understanding of what's going on. Coach Mike Umbert was speaking with the officials quite a bit. He's now walking over into the locker area for Belle Vernon. Tank, are you with us?
I am.
Tank, what are you hearing from the officials?
They're trying to figure out if they can get this late. So they're all trying to.
I tell you what, do me a favor. For whatever reason the technical issues are continuing, get as much information as you can. Come on up with us in the booth. You get more steps in. Your wife will be so proud of you, and you can give us all the details of what you got, okay? Thank you very much. I got the big thumbs up. Mike, we are joined in the booth.
Yeah, we've got another writer slash broadcaster. And he's also, like Tank, he's a real estate agent. And
that's right.
The man has been around WPIL sports for, I'd say 25 years, maybe more, is Mr. Ed Troop. Ed.
What's going on, guys? Good to be with you.
He's done a lot for a lot of years. And Beaver County and Allegheny County and pretty much every county there is. You've experienced things like this, been in a booth. Fans have to leave the stands, lightning delays. It just makes a great atmosphere. It kind of brings it down, doesn't it?
Well, actually, this is my 26th season broadcasting high school football.
25.
Tonight I'm on the Prince side, but normally I'm on your side there. But believe it or not, I've actually experienced this quite a bit over the years, including I remember 2 or 3 years ago, the Quips were playing on the road at not Central Valley, but Chartiers Valley.
Oh, okay.
Near Bridgeville. And the same thing happened. There were multiple lightning delays throughout the evening. We were there doing what you guys are doing, trying to, stall time. You're on the air until about 10:30, 10:45, and finally at that point they called the game. But the reason why they delayed it, Mike and Rob, similar to this situation, Aliquippa had traveled very far to Chartiers Valley. Just like tonight, Belle Vernon has traveled very far to Aliquippa. So if this was a more local game, they'd probably suspend it, have them come back tomorrow. But not in this distance. This game, if it gets called, it'll be called.
What do you think it does to the kids in the locker room? They go in, they sit there for half hour, they come out, they warm up for a few minutes, they start playing again. and then all of a sudden there's another lightning strike, and now they're going to be doing this again. I'm sure they're disappointed, but do you worry about kids getting injured sitting around for a half an hour like that?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And I'm the head coach of my son's youth football team, 5th and 6th grade down at Cannon Mac, and we do the same procedures as the high school does, right? We come out, we warm up for 15, 20 minutes before the start of a game. If we see lightning, we have to shut it down as well. It's even more important with little kids than even high school kids. And it's the same thing. You got to come back out. You got to warm back up for 20 or 25 minutes. So even at a young age, all the way up through high school, college, even the pros, it is tough to keep that motor to keep starting. I would think this would benefit Belle Vernon more because they're struggling in this game, right? So they get to hit a reset button multiple times. Their coaches get to re-strategize things. For Aliquippa, they're trying to get in a rhythm, and now you're seeing the penalties. It probably hurts Aliquippa more.
When you look at what we're experiencing right now, talk about for a moment the struggles that come into play. That it's not only about what the players are trying to do, what the coaches are trying to do, and then you got to wonder at some point the fans decide, okay, listen, I really want to be here. I want to support the home team, but how much more do you want me to go through? Now, by the way, Mike just pointed at another lightning strike.
Another reset the clock, Rob. Just keep resetting it. It is a struggle from a coaching standpoint. You come in with a game plan, especially a team like Belle Vernon coming on the road, having to come to such an intimidating atmosphere like the pit here at Aliquippa. Very tough for them right now, right? They're an hour and a half, 90 minutes from Belle Vernon here on the road, hostile environment, and now they've had 2 stops and goes within the last, half hour. Very challenging for them. For Aliquippa, you're in your home field, but again, they're trying to get in a rhythm too, right? And we've seen they came out pretty good on that first drive. They looked real good, but the second drive was a little bit more clumsy, right? Penalties didn't look as crisp as it first did. So I think that'll start to wear on them as the night goes on too. But yeah, this is as a fan, and no one, even us, no one wants to sit here all night with this. And the most troubling thing is if you look at the local radar right now, you guys were talking about it, I heard you, at 9:30 in about an hour, there's a lot of red coming through here. So this is minor compared to what's coming next. I think this game has all the looks of being suspended.
Our own Tank Latham now in the booth with us. And Tank, you spoke to the officials. What did they tell you? What are we looking at here?
Ultimately, it's up to the 2 school districts. They're down there talking it out, trying to figure it out, trying to see when they can get it back going. If it's a conference game, whether or not it's going to count or not, they're figuring all that out right now.
Yeah, and considering this is a non-conference game, it's ultimately not going to matter. They clearly wanted to be able to have this be a clash so that each team could figure out, okay, what do I have?
Right.
Especially for Belle Vernon. Umbert loves these games. It seems as though he's always scheduling a tough game at the beginning because he wants to put his kids to a test. What are you made out of, and what do I have to do from a coaching perspective with my staff in order to make the adjustments, maybe personnel and scheme-wise, to move forward through what's going to be a very difficult conference in the Big Six?
Oh, absolutely. And, Belle Vernon's coming off of 2 state titles in the Class 3A division, in which, much like Aliquippa in 4A, Belle Vernon was that dominant in Class 3A, and they had a great player with Quentin Martin, who goes to Penn State. For 4 years, he started as a freshman. In fact, I remember watching his freshman game against, here we go again, Chartiers Valley, right? They started at Chartiers Valley. We got a Belle Vernon guy here. He agrees with me with my memory. I remember doing that game. Boy, Char Valley's getting a lot of love tonight between Aliquippa's lightning delay and now that. But, they lose him, so, they're rebuilding a little bit at Belle Vernon, but they have a lot of good pieces to the puzzle. They're going to be very competitive in 4A outside of this game tonight against Aliquippa.
You talk about Quentin Martin going to Penn State. Well, Tyke Hayes has said he's going to Penn State. Now, there are pretty strong rumors that Stanford's after him. Now, do you think Tyke Hayes sees a guy like Quentin Martin go in there and sees his path blocked a little bit? Or do you think he goes to Stanford and maybe gets a chance to play earlier? Because, he still doesn't have to go to Penn State. He hasn't signed a letter of intent yet.
Well, Mike, as you know, I live in the Cannon Mac community now. That's where I coach with my kids. But I went to Belle Vernon. I'm a Belle Vernon guy.
You've said Belle Vernon about 15 times.
A few times. So I got the Belle Vernon blood in me. And, this past spring, my brother-in-law, who still lives in Belle Vernon, is a huge Penn State fan.
16.
I went over around Mother's Day, and he said, hey, do you want to watch the Penn State spring game from last week? And I said, no, I have no interest. I'm not a Penn State guy. I could care less. He said, no, you want to watch this. You want to check it out. And so he puts it on. He fast forwards, and who else is in the backfield getting carries but Quentin Martin? Not only is he getting carries, he's scoring 2 touchdowns in that game for Penn State in the spring game. So, initially I didn't think Martin was going to get a lot of looks for Penn State early on. He still might not,
athlete.
But he at least did in the spring. I think his path is there. So Hayes could be looking at that right now, saying,
and the way things are now with NIL,
Right.
and we hear the news of what's that guy that talks too much and I don't like on ESPN, who goes back to West Virginia and donates $1 million to NIL for them.
Right.
And so with all the NIL and all the transfer rules, Tyke doesn't have to go to Penn State. So he's going to probably wait and see where he's going to go, I would think, if there's the rumors going like now.
I remember a lot of talk from last year, the last 2 years, that maybe Quentin Martin would be more of a defensive back.
Right, correct.
Than he would be a running back.
Right, Rob.
And with Coach Warfield saying that Stanford is interested in Tyke, and there's this academic pursuit of excellence here. Listen, who doesn't want to go to Penn State? But if you get to go to school, get your 4-year degree,
right,
and you get to say you went to Stanford, which is Ivy League West,
right.
You talk about launching a career. That's where it is.
And what another great story. There's been so many great stories that come out of Aliquippa with football over the years. And I know you had Coach Warfield on a little bit ago talking about some of that. But what another great chapter that would be for a kid like that to come out of here, out of this community, and possibly go to an Ivy League type of school and play it. That's big football too, Rob, right? I mean, Stanford, Christian McCaffrey, right?
Right, and they're not now, what are they, are they in the ACC now?
I think.
So
much has changed.
Are all
so much has
screwed up.
changed.
The
but
ACC now.
That would be a great story if he ends up there. But, that the college, we could get on a whole nother discussion if you want. We got time to waste, right?
Right.
The college landscape has changed so much, so dramatically over the last year. NIL. There was a coach the other day, I don't know if you guys saw the clip down south talking. He told his players no more talking about NIL. Apparently, players are trying to negotiate NIL in season. That they want more money to stay. The whole thing's out of control.
They need to limit it somehow.
It's bad.
I don't begrudge kids, because if you're talented, and especially if you come from don't have money, and you're able to put that money away and help your family, hey, you know what? It's just like me or Robert or you going and going to work at 19 years old. So I don't begrudge kids for money, but there has to be a way to limit it somehow. You got teams in Texas. Every single kid on every team, from softball to rowing to everything, has NIL money.
Right.
It's kind of throwing things off a little bit. Let's get back to high school.
Before you do that, it's the equivalent of, let's take this to the pro level. Let's say nobody ever has a contract. Everybody is a perpetual free agent.
Yep.
How do you ever build a football team at that level if everybody's a free agent that could leave the very next year? It seems as though, when it comes to making modifications, Mike, that maybe you come in and it's a 2-year commitment.
Yeah.
This is your contract. It's no longer a 4-year deal.
Makes
but
sense.
if you're going to be here, you're here for the next 2 years. And if you don't play here, you don't play anywhere. The same in the NFL.
Yeah.
You don't want to play? Fine, but you can't go anyplace else and play either.
I think that's a great idea, and probably something that the NCAA really needs to look at, because right now it's the wild, wild west.
That's crazy.
Players, and again, that coach, I think it was a big program. I know it was LSU. It was a big program down south that was said that he told his players in a team meeting, I'm done with NIL for this season. Don't come to me, say you need more money to stay, this, that, and this. It's just amazing, and it's something that got Nick Saban out of the game, one of the greatest college coaches of all time, right? Nick Saban steps down because he didn't want to play this game anymore. He didn't want to go into what college football has turned into.
And because of that old school coaching, the guys were clearly wanting to win. But the Nick Saban approach and that old school college approach was, you got to work hard.
Yep.
Yeah, he made him work hard.
Nothing's going to be given to you. You don't deserve anything. You got to work hard for it every single day. And that's what makes men.
Right.
Because when they're done with college football, they go on to their professional career. Nothing's promised you there.
Right.
It's cutthroat in the business world. You want to keep your job, you want to advance, you got to realize that every day you have to bring it, every day you have to be willing to sacrifice, you have to be disciplined.
And The good news, Rob, too, just from a high school level, we have some high school football coaches in the WPIL that echo that as well on the high school level. You just talked to one man here just a little bit ago that was the coach here forever, Mike Warfield. No one did it better than Coach Warfield with this program and developing young men outside of this football field in this community. Matt Humbert's another one over at Belle Vernon. I've gotten to know Matt very well over the last few years. No one does it better in the Mon Valley than Matt Humbert. People lose perspective sometimes of the town of Belle Vernon because it's so diverse, it's so different. There's so many different parts of that community, but it's in the Upper Mon Valley, old steel mill town, just like Beaver County. You go down the you go down the rivers here, the Ohio River. It's the same theme with the Monongahela River in the Mon Valley. They're tough areas that produce blue collar type tough athletes, and they need those coaches to keep them on that right path. And they got some in both of these communities.
26 years you've been doing it. Me, just about the same. It just seems to me that the better programs have stayed good. Some teams that were okay now are bad. There's more of a divide between the good and the bad, and it's harder to build programs. We have more games that are out of control. I don't know what's gone wrong, but I don't know whether it's not enough commitment, not enough good people to run programs.
Well, I could tell you.
But there's so many. I mean, it's tough to be a coach, and you're not doing it for the money, and it's tough to deal with school districts. It's tough to deal with parents, but there are some really good school districts that have fallen apart in hard times, and it just seems like that divide has gotten a lot bigger.
Yeah, you were talking about how you coach your son's team. How do you deal with this and getting these kids who have a natural excitement and interest in playing, and then you deal and try to balance that with the parents that aren't thinking about their son just going out there and playing and having a fun time? They're thinking about D1 scholarships and NIL money. How do you...
Even at a young age, Rob, and there's so many travel programs out there, and outside of football, basketball, baseball travel programs, all year long, kids are committed to some of these sports. So with that, everybody thinks their kid's going pro tomorrow. So if you take them off the field for an inning, you take them out of a quarter because your team's up 20 and they want you to go up by 40, you start getting yelled at, right? You start getting told, why did my kid get taken out? They lose perspective quickly. So there's a fine line, and I've been fortunate enough in my community to have some pretty good parents with that and have had some conversations over time. But back to your first question, how do you get players excited at that age? We just finished up our camp a couple weeks ago. Our first game's actually tomorrow. We play Thomas Jefferson tomorrow. It's our first game tomorrow afternoon at Cannon Mac for our youth program. And we just talked about it at practice on Wednesday night. And I told the guys, I said, hey, listen, these are 10, 11-year-olds, right? They're not thinking about anything. Hopefully I got their attention for 2 minutes. And I said, guys, you're involved in the sport of football that is the ultimate team sport. This is a brotherhood that you're going to help. If this guy shall fall, who's going to pick him up? If this guy gets hurt, who's going to pick him up? If this guy scores a touchdown, who's going to go celebrate with him? And they got fired up by that. And I said, guys, this is the ultimate team sport. Baseball's individual. Basketball, team sport, but more individual, only 5 players on a court at a time, right? Soccer, other sports. But football, it takes 11 guys to go out on that field and compete.
One
and
guy
work
messes
together.
up, it hurts. Right.
Exactly what Mike said. And we preach that to our kids from day one.
Oh, so
Tank, you still with us back there? Tank, do you have any questions for Mr. Troop?
Well, before you get to the questions, you brought up an interesting point with the penalty that was called on Moon, that he was tossed out of the game. Aliquippa is really upset about that ejection. Why?
They're really upset because next week he can't participate either because of that. So it's not just this game, it's the next game as well.
And you're talking about somebody from Central Catholic.
Played pretty well.
He's a sophomore. Max Preps has him as a first-team All-American as a sophomore in the entire country. He can play both sides of the ball with just whatever position you want him to play in. He can do it.
Yep.
To have the skill set and
it was getting pretty
he's
chippy.
out.
It was getting pretty chippy down there.
Tank, I don't know if you saw, but it looked to me like the Belle Vernon player knew he couldn't run the ball back, started to step out of bounds, and Moon just hit him, and then that card.
It's exactly what happened.
And so the ref had to make the call. You have to have enough common sense. You can be talented, but if he's going to not get recruited that high if he keeps doing things like that, because they're not going to want him.
Well,
so hope he knows that he did wrong.
And Tank, you're down the sidelines, so you probably give a better perspective. But I think Belle Vernon's trying to send a message, too, that, hey, we're the defending champs from our classification. Yeah, you guys are the best, but we're here. We've come here 90 minutes to play some football. And I think that's probably part of their strategy here, too. They just get in their own heads. They get in their own heads that they belong here.
Yeah, they definitely came out after that first delay, hitting a little bit harder, tackling a little bit harder, gang tackling as well. So they were trying to send a message. And even though they muffed that punt, they were starting to come back here. It was going to be a real good game.
And I would not want to be one of the kids for Belle Vernon having to listening to Umpert.
Yeah.
Because I've heard him on the sideline covering him for years. He is just absolutely intense. I interviewed him before the game, and he does a scrimmage with West Allegheny. Right. And the score comes out, 55-30. And I said, so what did you like about the game? He's not that much.
Yeah.
You put 55 up, and I'm not all that happy. He won't be happy until he gets 3 wins.
Well, the rain is coming down a lot harder now, fellas. That's one thing. They can play through rain. It's lightning and torrential downpours you can't play through.
Yes. Any updates at all, Tank, on what we may know regarding any?
Not that I know. I know that the Aliquippa athletic director, she's been down there trying to figure out stuff with Belle Vernon's athletic director as well. So they're trying to work it out.
Which is another conversation with Coach Humbert, because he's the athletic director of Belle Vernon.
Exactly right.
I think we're around 20 now on the references to.
Well, at least, and anytime you have Mr. Troop. So Ed, let's talk about your past, and you've covered a lot of teams: the West Alleghenies, the Rochesters, the Belle Vernons. Because you, like me, in the past, traveled and pretty much went anywhere. So you see good brands of football in the WPIL, and a lot of people have the attitude of, well, the WPIL. And so, yeah, for around here it's good. There's good football in Florida, Texas. The WPIL still every year sends a lot of people to the state playoffs, and a lot of people get to a championship game. They don't win a title every year. There's still really good football. Maybe not as many teams, but there's still quality football here in Western Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is still an area that produces a lot of Division I talent year after year after year. It always has. It slowed down a little bit, I think, about 20 years ago or so. I think we went through a period of time in the WPIL where the quality wasn't as great. I believe Mike White from the Post-Gazette actually wrote about that a couple times not too long ago. But it's coming back, right? And numbers were down too. A lot of these football programs, from our youth programs all the way up through high school, the participation went down with all the concussions and everything that was around that.
Is it just concussions? Don't to interrupt you, but I mean, or is it because, and I've heard kids then now can go and do stuff like rowing or golf or archery or other things and play and participate instead of standing on the sidelines and not playing?
Well, I think also the whole sport of football had to pivot. And when they pivoted, they went to more flag football. So now you see a lot more flag football programs in the youth programs. I know, again, not to go back to my program at Canamac, but we just extended it through 4th grade. It used to stop after 2nd grade, and you had to go play tackle in 3rd. Well, we thought that was kind of crazy because we were getting kids coming out in 3rd and 4th grade that weren't ready to play tackle football yet.
That's too young.
And that wasn't good for anybody. It wasn't good for them, their families, or us. So we said, go play flag through 4th grade. We'd actually like to extend it through 6th grade. So if you want to play flag, you play flag. If you want to play tackle, play tackle. On the flag side, at least you're learning the game of football. And I think that got people back interested in the game. When you started seeing, now the flag football is going to be part of the Olympics.
That's right.
Coming up.
You guys got a youth rugby team down there, don't you? My buddy Dave Bastido coaches down there.
Do they? They might. They might. I'm not
starting
sure.
to get bigger now, too.
Oh, yeah. I know up at Moon, too. I got a couple guys that help coach youth rugby.
And that seems to be like, I'll take Blackhawk here, for instance. They were one of the better teams in almost everything: softball, baseball, basketball.
Football.
Then soccer, football, and then all of a sudden they introduce every sport imaginable. They have rugby, you mentioned, lacrosse. A lot of girls go to lacrosse. Their softball team went like this. There's so many sports for smaller classifications. All the athletes are spread out, thus not any one good team. Where here at Aliquippa, you have just football in the fall. You don't have wrestling, you have basketball. You don't have wrestling. And so all the athletes have to play one sport. So it's, when you have small schools like Freedom playing soccer, Beaver playing soccer, I think the spread out of all the sports, kids want to play. They don't want to stand around. That's why I think football has gone downhill a lot.
Well, and to your point, Mike, too, and I know we're on, BVP here, Beaver County, so I have to talk about Beaver County. But
That's
I
right.
want to
We're sick of talking about Belle Vernon.
I want to talk about Beaver County though, because I've always thought this is such a hotbed for just really, really good high school football. I mean, this is when you think about all the success, all these outside of Aliquippa and Central Valley, but I mean, there's been some great teams over there. There's Blackhawk, Monaca, Rochester. I mean, you could just keep going
Beaver
on and on.
teams from years ago.
Beaver's real good. They're on the up right now.
Yeah. Moon, right outside of our coverage area, or Elwood City in the past. Yeah, you're right.
And I'll never forget, I was at Belle Vernon in the late 90s, okay? And there was one team we could never get by.
Thomas Jefferson.
No. TJ was later on, and they beat them. Blackhawk.
Oh, that's right.
That was Blackhawk. And Blackhawk in the late 90s went on that with Coach Hamilton. I mean, they were unbeatable.
Robert, let's.
They're sending them back in.
What do you see these? They're all talking. Tank said they're sending them back in, but the whole group of it's officials and people from Belle Vernon. What do you think they're talking about? What do you think this conversation is?
I'm heading down.
Well, thank you very much, Tank. See what you can find out. I think what they're probably talking about is that weather we're expecting in about 35, 40 minutes from now.
Is it worth starting the game?
Yes, because you're going to have this thing delayed again.
It's going to happen again.
And you want to get the play in. I understand what you were saying, Ed. Once again, Ed Troop with us from the trip, that it's such a long trip that you're not going to finish this game tomorrow.
Right, correct.
And they desperately want to be able to see how these teams really match up. You want it to be a real legitimate barometer, if you will, pardon the weather pun, but to see what your guys are made out of, and it looks as though it may not happen.
Well, Aliquippa came back out. Now they're heading back in. So when they were coming out to warm up and the officials were waving them to come out, Rob and Mike, I was actually getting ready to say they're going to resume this, but probably my guess would be the conversation would be, hey, look, let's try one more time, but if this thing goes a third time, let's just call it.
Well, why not get them out here and warm up? I mean, it has been 30 minutes. That's what I don't get is it's close to 30 minutes unless they're counting that second strike, which I think they have to.
And we were talking earlier about the possibility of not having a halftime because you had that really long break just to be able to get the play in. The way the play is going so far, I think they'll be fortunate to get to halftime by 9:30 when the weather front comes through. So we'll have Tank figure that one out. Let's talk a little bit about scores because there are a lot of games that are going on that are not being impacted by weather.
That's interesting.
And since we're talking about what's happening here in Beaver County, let's look at these scores. And maybe one of the big surprises, Central Valley, a little bit of a tie-in with the 6 conference. Thomas Jefferson, they're trailing 20-13.
Wow.
Central Valley on paper, they are just seemingly stacked. Why do you think they're having the trouble that they're having? Is it just because they're playing top-tier talent in Thomas Jefferson and Montour from last week and now Belle Vernon next week? What do you see for Central Valley at this point?
Oh, absolutely, Robin. You mentioned it before about Belle Vernon and Matt Humbert kind of stacking his schedule with really tough competition. Obviously, Central Valley doing the same thing there as well. Coming out of the gate with these first 3 weeks of their season facing top-tier type of talent. Hey, listen, Thomas Jefferson's a team that they're always in it. Bill Chirpek always has that team ready to go. It's bumpy road at times the last few years. They haven't gotten down to Acrisure to play for a championship. But that's a big test tonight for Central Valley to play a tough team like the Jaguars.
We may have an answer. Tank, can you hear us?
Tank, what do you know?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, the official restart time, 9:20. If they can't get it going, then they're probably going to have to call it the night.
So at 9:20, they're planning on restarting this game.
Wow.
Correct.
It's a long time.
Wow.
They must have saw another.
There must have been another strike that just popped out
look
not
at that.
too
Ed
long
Troop
ago.
gets more airtime.
Because now we're going to 9:20, and then you get that weather front coming through just 10 minutes later.
You have to keep trying.
Are they talking at all, Tank? Are you able to get an idea where they're just going to not even try to move this thing forward? I mean, if we get another lightning strike before 9:20 comes around, have they had that conversation?
They don't want to go past 10 to restart.
They don't want to go past 10
to restart now.
Okay, all right.
So both head coaches were talking to each other. I officially from Coach Patrick.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Tank Latham with the EXP Realty
Man
sideline.
on the sideline,
report.
huh?
Yes,
He's doing his job.
Now as we're talking about what's happening around Beaver County, Fry Transportation Update Desk. We were looking at the scores, 2013, Thomas Jefferson over Central Valley. How about the Red Hurricanes? Newcastle's my alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
They're beating up on Hopewell 28-19.
You know, Hopewell a little bit better. Newcastle struggled mightily last year. They're being rebuilt. That was a chance for Hopewell to maybe win a game, but it seems like Newcastle in charge right there.
Western Beaver up on Southside 7-0.
Wow.
They're in the first quarter, latest score, so they may be dealing with their own weather issues.
They have to be because it's 9 o'clock.
Yes. Montour's up on Moon, the latest score that we have there. It's 6-0. That score is in the second. Chartiers Valley, we mentioned them a couple of times. They're trailing West Allegheny 7-6. And the Beaver Falls Tigers continue to try to figure out what's the season going to be like at this early stage because they're down 34-0.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, when we say total rebuild, they lost all their running backs, all their line, their 2 quarterbacks. They lost everybody. They have maybe 1 or 2 kids that played significantly come back. And their head coach said, we have to spoon feed this team. They're that young. And, Ed, when you lose everybody and don't bring anybody back, it doesn't matter what level of football you play. You're going to struggle. They got beat up last week, and they're getting beat up this week. This could be one of the worst year in Beaver Falls history. Just the way it is.
What, Beaver Falls last year makes it to Acrisure is what, the 10th seed in the playoffs?
And they win the championship.
And they win no one expected that.
Right, and they go to the PIAA semifinals, lost to Westinghouse.
Yeah, great story there. And, it's tough when you lose all your starters, though, guys, at any level, any classification of football, any level of football, when you can't bring back those returning starters. I saw it last week. Last week I did the Mount Lebanon Upper St. Clair game at Upper St. Clair. Mm-hmm. And Upper St. Clair had 9 starters back on offense and 9 players back on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Lebanon had 2 on offense and 1 on defense. And St. Clair ran the table with them. Experienced players coming back is so important, especially at the high school level.
Good experienced players.
Good experienced players too. Oh, of course. So for Beaver Falls to have to reload like that,
it's a learning year for them. So it's going to be a tough road for them all year long.
Yeah, we are here at Heinz Field. Aliquippa is winning this game. They're up 12-0 over Belle Vernon. We are in actual real time, just about 2 hours into the game. However, we still have 1:49 to go in the first quarter. It looks as though we are not going to have a restart of this game until close to 9:20, based upon the most recent lightning strikes that have caused now this second delay in this game. And, they are putting a 10 o'clock time limit, and there was just another lightning strike. So that is now at 9 o'clock. We're expecting a weather front to come through here at 9:30. The rain has subsided quite a bit, but the lightning's still in the area, and they just won't let them play.
Is that heat lightning? But there were some big strikes behind us earlier. It's getting to the point now that, you got that front coming in, and it's going to be bad. Why risk it? Why even start at 9:30? I know you want to try, but it's to a point where it's going to start getting dangerous.
Producer extraordinaire.
Yeah, I'll just add in, guys. I know you guys probably can't hear out of the booth too well, but I just took a walk up and was up there, and there is a lot of thunder in the distance. So
thunder and lightning
definitely
coming.
Stuff rolling through.
Curtis, thank you very much.
He's not just a producer; he's a meteorologist as well.
He does everything. There's everything he's on.
Speaking of doing everything, Ed, let's tell the story about. Since we got time, it is a great story for me and Ed. And Ed knows what I'm talking about. Hey, Mike. Hey, Ed. You guys, we're like in our, second, third, fourth year. We're going to go up and cover a state quarterfinal, State College and Erie McDowell. Erie Prep.
Yep.
They tell us game time, 1 o'clock. We get to the stadium. They're not even done shoveling snow off the field. We're not starting till 6, 7 o'clock?
Yep.
Nobody told us. We had no idea. There was 1.5 feet of snow in the stands. It was unbelievable. Was it Altoona? Who was it against them? State College.
No,
and what's his name? Was on the Erie McDowell.
The guy who started at Pitt. I can't remember his name. I mean, this is only 25 years ago.
But we go.
I can't believe
Walker,
the two of
something
you
Walker,
don't
I
have
think.
this at the tip of
No,
your
but it's
tongue.
like we get there. Shady McCoy. Was it him?
Oh, my.
No.
Shady McCoy.
Oh, Shady McCoy.
I think it might have been Shady McCoy.
That, and State College held the ball to every single time to the last second because they just wanted to hold the ball. And they were in the game the whole time. It was a great game. But we waited 6 hours. We had to kill time in Erie.
Yep.
And it was an interesting trip to see people in the stands actually having to shovel a foot and a half of snow away just to have a place to sit.
That was back in the year 2000. It was my first year broadcasting football, and I'll never forget it. Mike's exactly right, Rob. We're in Erie, of all places, doing the playoff game, snow. Had to wait 6 hours. I think we went and ate food and just walked around, hung out. But in that game was interesting. Erie Cathedral Prep was trailing late in the game.
Oh, I remember this.
And what's that?
Go ahead, I know.
And they did what you do, a lot of people talk about. They let them score.
They let them
score so they can get the ball back and have one last chance to win the game. And they did. They did. So Erie Cathedral Prep.
It worked.
They give up the score, so they have like a minute 13 left. They purposely, all their players just fell down. They let the running back walk into the end zone. If the running back would have been smart, he would have just took a knee and ran the clock out. Cathedral gets the ball back. They go down, score, and win the game and go on to the state title game.
It was an amazing game. I think something else happened in the way. They had to get a 2-point conversion. Something had to happen because they had to, because once State College got the game, it was unbelievable.
Ed, thank you so much for stopping by.
Rob, I enjoyed it, man. Thank you so much.
I had a great time.
I'll come on with you guys anytime.
You're okay, man. You're still a good man after all these years.
Was always a big fan of what you guys do over the years.
I tell you what, next time we're broadcasting a game somewhere and you're there, we'll bring you on.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Don't have to even bring your own headsets or anything. All right, stick around. Coming up, more here at Heinz Field. Aliquippa up 12-0, 1:49 to go in the first quarter. There's a lot of serious talk that this game may not be able to continue. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will talk to the athletic director here at Aliquippa. Dr. Jennifer D'Amico will be joining us right here on Beaver County Radio.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is now open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced and highly trained staff is here to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop on down to Beaver County's newest firearm store, Tri-State Sporting Arms, at 807 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check them out on Facebook.
Back to school season means back to your credit union season. Before you pack the lunchbox, be sure and pack your wallet. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union and get the cash supply you'll need so that you can buy the school supplies that they will need. This is Cindy Hiladio. Stop into the principal's office and see me to sign up for an easy-to-manage personal signature loan. They're now available from $500 to $10,000 with approved credit. Friendly Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Looking for that special home or wanting to sell yours? Let the Lisa Latham team, brokered by eXp Realty, help you. Hi, I'm Tank Latham, and our goal is to make you feel comfortable whether buying or selling. Lisa and I strive to make the process as smooth and as easy as possible. We invite you to visit the all-new eXp office located at 926 3rd Avenue, New Brighton. Give us a call at 724-307-5472. Check out Beaver County Home Inventory on our website, lisalatham.com. The Lisa Latham team, results that move you.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls. There's exciting news. A new pharmacy in New Brighton just opened, Forward RX. It's an independent community pharmacy that fills prescriptions at transparent cost-plus pricing on many generic medications. No insurance or discount coupons needed. Brandon Anthonopoulos will discuss your needs and how Forward RX can help you save money. The pharmacy experience you deserve is more affordable than you think. Become a Forward member today. Stop in 809 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check their prices at FWDRX.com.
Hi, this is Bob Barrickman here for Fry Transportation. When it comes to school buses in Beaver County, it sure is hard not to notice the shiny Fry Transportation fleet. Fry Transportation has been a local family-owned Beaver County business for over 30 years. As any successful football team must be dependable and reliable, these same qualities have made Fry Transportation a champion operation. Best wishes to all local teams and safe travels to the gridirons this season. From your friends at Fry Transportation.
How can I help my child to make positive choices?
Start with a conversation. Start making the difference.
Beaver County Parents, is your child between the ages of 10 and 14? If so, Keystone Wellness Programs is offering the Strengthening Families program in your area. This free program is designed for families to have fun together while learning ways to promote family bonding and communications. For more information about upcoming sessions near you, visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org.
Paid for with PA taxpayer dollars.
Your Beaver County McDonald's restaurants are proud to partner with Beaver County Radio in sponsoring all the local high school football games this season. Stop into any of your local McDonald's restaurants for everyday value items like 2 for $3 mix and match, sausage burrito, sausage McMuffin, and hash browns. Don't forget to download the app for extra special savings. Looking for a great part-time job? Visit McHire.com today to apply. Good luck to all the Beaver County football teams this season from your local McDonald's restaurants. I'm loving it. Looking for a fall activity for your children? Pass and score your way into the Beaver County YMCA's Youth Soccer League. The league will teach the basic fundamentals of soccer. There will be one practice a week teaching drills and skills. This soccer league is for kids ages 5 through 12 and runs from September 10th to October 19th. Registration is already open. To register, go to beavercountyymca.org.
I'm Angino. We are live at Heinz Field in Aliquippa. The Quip's up 12-0 over the Belle Vernon Leopards. 1:49 to go in the first quarter, and we are in a weather delay because of lightning. And it looks as though there was lightning just a couple of moments ago. Tank Latham with us, eXp Realty sideline reporter. And Tank, just as a refresher for anybody who may just be joining us, what is the plan and the intent here from the officials and the athletic directors as they were talking, even the head coaches, about what to do regarding this game?
They were trying to get this game going back at 9:20, but I don't think they were coming out here. We just had some lightning strikes. According to the rules, you can't come out 30 minutes after the lightning strike happens. They're down there. Looks like they're talking over what's going on. They also were not planning on restarting this game after 10 o'clock either. So
right now they're looking
looks
at
like they're making an announcement.
5.
Oh, 50-50.
Yeah.
That wasn't the announcement we were looking for, the 50-50 raffle.
I got tickets. I don't know about you.
Did you get tickets?
I'm looking, and you got all, not all, but yeah, well, pretty much all the officials. They're down there. We got a lot of fans leaving. I think they see the same thing we do, that it's raining. They're tired of sitting there, and there's another lightning strike. The weather's coming. It's probably the best to call it, but yeah, I know you want to get it in, Tank, but, you know, when you're in a field like this and you're near lightning poles or stands, yeah, there is some protection, but you got metal stands. Why risk a kid's life?
I agree. I remember playing back in 99, 2000. We had a game like this. We just waited, and then eventually it was against Shenango. We ended up playing the next day. Obviously, travel time was a lot closer than these two teams. But it also was a conference game. This one is not.
You know who always wins?
Mother Nature.
Every time. I mean, look.
Father Time, too.
Look at, well, yeah, but both of those. What if those two came together?
How do you think I came about?
Mother Nature and Father Time. You know what? I mean, you had the flooding in central PA a couple of weeks ago. I got a buddy who's dealing with that and his parents, and it's just a mess. And we've had flooding around here, and it's just weather is weather. You just have to try to protect yourself and withstand it. But you don't want to lose. You can lose enough kids to love goofy things. You don't want to lose to anybody because of an accident that could have been prevented.
The radar that I'm looking at right now is showing that the most severe of the storms are just now coming across the PA-Ohio line. And if we can buy some time, maybe till about 9:45, by the time we go through the last lightning strike, if they can get this thing started again, maybe a little bit before 10, maybe they could actually finish this game. We are waiting to have the athletic director, Jennifer D'Amico, for Aliquippa to come and join us. My guess is that the huddle that is taking place at around the 25-yard line, they have 2 golf carts down there. It looks as though the athletic director for Belle Vernon, which is head coach Matt Umbert, it looks as though Coach Patrick is there with Aliquippa plus an entire other staff, all of the officials, just trying to figure out exactly what it is that they're going to do. And we just have to pretty much, Mike, just sit back and wait.
You want to play. Obviously, these kids, all these fans, there's another lightning strike. All these fans are here. It's not a strike, but actually lightning. All this community involvement. And let's talk about it. It was great to come and see the atmosphere. This field that's 2 years old now. Well, actually, year and a half.
The executives from Heinz are here, too.
Exactly. I mean, and it's a full house. They have a full house all the time. They have a nice yard where they have like a bounce house for kids. They make this a community event. And, yeah, it's a shame. But, again, it's pouring now. And I don't know about you, Tank. I mean, it's not that I have to go or be anywhere, but what's going to happen is if you try to start this and then you get that torrential bad stuff, you've got everybody in the stands trying to rush out at one time. Then you could have major problems. What if it comes in with thunder and lightning and really hits you?
And you really don't want to hurt another player either if they're out there in this kind of condition as well. You still got the whole season ahead of you.
Tank, you've played, you've coached. What's going through your mind? Kind of project yourself into the coaches and into the players' mindset about what's happening right now.
Right now, it's real hard as a coach trying to rally your troops up to make sure that at any second you could go back out there, but it looks like we might not be going out there. We got as a player, you just want to play. You just want to go out there and have some fun because you've been watching film on these guys for weeks.
I think we're hearing that they're not rescheduling, and this game's done. A lot of people are walking out. I think we're going to get an announcement here. Maybe.
Do we have anything official?
I don't know. I heard them talking. They're talking over there.
Well, as they're figuring out what the official word is, then we'll go. They're calling the game.
They're not rescheduling.
Okay, we just got word from the PA announcer that they're going to call the game. Another lightning bolt filling the skies. Torrential downpour right now here. So they're going to call the game, and they're not going to reschedule. And I got to tell you, as a football fan, I feel horrible because this was something that was on the calendar for every single football fan in southwestern Pennsylvania. Forget about
4A
just Aliquippa
versus 3A.
Yes, state champions. I mean, this was an opportunity to really see what was going to happen with these two.
And we got a little
Titans
taste, very little taste of it.
Yes. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll have Dr. D'Amico come up here in just a few minutes and speak to us. Yes, the PA
it's a shame. We only got through part of a quarter. I mean, they can't really count the Quips winning. You could say the Quips have won the game, Tank, but that's kind of unfair to Belle Vernon because they didn't get a chance to
Football's a 60-minute game.
Exactly. You got to let them play.
Now, that's going to be interesting how the WPIAL is going to ultimately look at this. Are they just going to view this then as a scrimmage, as a non-game? Do the stats count? I mean, Micah, you've been doing this for a while.
I would think the stats should count.
I would think this would just be like winning percentage at that point. They would basically.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I would think that. I would think.
Hopefully,
I would think the stats count, but I don't know.
I would think so too.
Okay, maybe Dr. D'Amico will be able to give us some insights on this. Hopefully, she's able to make her way up here. In the meantime, Curtis, how about if we pause for one more moment? And we'll come back and we'll talk to the athletic director and kind of get into the mindset of what they were thinking about, what they were hoping for, and the conversations that have been taking place in order to get where we are now, which is the game being called and they're not going to reschedule it. Aliquippa up on Belle Vernon here with just a minute plus to go in the quarter before they decided to go ahead and call the game. Back with more on Beaver County Radio.
Make your dream of a college degree a reality at Community College of Beaver County. CCBC offers 10 pathways to success, including health sciences, criminal justice, industrial technology, business, and more. Start at CCBC and finish your career or get transfer ready, all at a realistic cost. Enroll today, ccbc.edu. In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win or at least a winning smile by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com.
Football season is in full swing, and so are the deals on F-Series trucks at Moon Township Ford. Stop in now and save up to $4,000 in dealer discounts on America's #1 selling truck, the Ford F-150, plus additional rebates which everyone qualifies for and rates as low as 0%. No matter where you go, the Ford F-150 is the quintessential American truck to take you to the football field or anywhere you want to go. No wonder that it's the most popular vehicle sold in the U.S., and you can save up to $5,000 in dealer discounts on America's toughest player on the field, the Super Duty. It's all part of the August Spectacular going on now at Moon Township Ford. Not everyone will qualify. Please see dealer for additional details. Rates are offered through Ford Motor Credit and are with approved credit. Moon Township Ford, University Boulevard across from Robert Morris.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Getting into the lineup and making the team is easy at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Training camp is starting and you are invited. This is Coach Andy Dengel and I'm looking for new teammates. Membership is open to many organizations and groups throughout the county. Join my team at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Details and applications are available now. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union today. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
No matter what the circumstances, no matter the reason, one of the few things that is left when a loved one passes on are the memories. Staging those memories in an honoring way is one of the reasons so many people have chosen J&J Spratt Funeral Home. A person's legacy depends on a lifetime of accomplishments and then how they are remembered. J&J Spratt Funeral Home has helped start the process of creating positive legacies for over 70 years. Visit jjsprattfh.com. Joseph M. Spratt, Supervisor and Funeral Director.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard has the best wings and homemade sauces in Beaver County. Zookie's Sports Tavern is the perfect place to grab a bite to eat or a cold beverage before high school basketball games. Zookie's Sports Tavern has a heated and enclosed outside bar equipped with several big screen TVs and is the ideal place to watch all of your favorite sports. Don't forget to become a VIP for discounts and special offers at Zookies.com. That's Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard.
How can I help my child to make positive choices?
Start with a conversation. Start making the difference.
Beaver County Parents, is your child between the ages of 10 and 14? If so, Keystone Wellness Programs is offering the Strengthening Families program in your area. This free program is designed for families to have fun together while learning ways to promote family bonding and communications. For more information about upcoming sessions near you, visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org.
Paid for with PA taxpayer dollars.
You're listening to 2024 high school football coverage on Beaver County Radio from the McGee Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by eXp Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness, Pride Transportation Group LLC, Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the YMCA, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, Tri-State McDonald's, I'm loving it, and Beaver County Radio.
Yeah, just about to go back on.
Nice.
Great seeing you too, Ben.
Well, you know what? Whoever puts this out next time, just leave this out here.
So this night was a night of firsts.
Yeah.
The first time we had a 4A play a 3A state champion to begin the season. And then we dealt with other firsts. Weather delays, then a second weather delay, and then a hope to restart, and that second weather delay ultimately turning into a game cancellation tonight, Mike.
You know what? I mean, Mother Nature always wins. We talked about it with Ed Troop, and we talked about it with Tank. Mother Nature's going to win every single time, and you got to think about the kids. It's a shame. A lot of fans came and paid, but it is what it is. I hate saying those four words, but it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You can only control what you control.
Right.
I'm full of quotes.
Are you?
I can fill time with quotes.
It seems as though you're just rattling them off like that.
Ed could say Belle Vernon 25 times. I got enough quotes for you to last a lifetime. Pride Transportation, we're going to have to hear from them.
Yeah, we're going to look at some scores from around the Beaver Valley here in a moment, too. And then we will have the postgame show kicking off pretty soon as well. Bruce Fry is ready to get that thing going. We are hoping to be able to speak to Dr. D'Amico. My understanding is that she is on her way up, and we'll be able to speak with her in a moment. Let's take a look at the Fry Transportation update desk and get some scores. And Fort Cherry, the Rangers, all over Ulsh, 34-14.
Okay.
They're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Fort Cherry, Matt Sieg, great quarterback. They should be a team looking at a WPL championship again.
Newcastle's in the third quarter. They're up on Hopewell, 28-19.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Hopewell hanging in there.
Yeah, Chartiers Valley, West Allegheny. Chartiers Valley within one. They're trailing 7-6.
And Sharp Valley improving. West Allegheny, they've had some graduation losses, but you know something? That's a game that West A can still win.
Low-scoring game, but extremely competitive. Montour and Moon. Montour is up 6-0. That's in the second.
Moon hanging in there as well. These are all low-scoring games. I'm wondering what the weather's like at these places, too.
Interesting, too. Southside that looked so dominant last week. Western Beaver just couldn't seem to get themselves into a rhythm. Now they're up 7-0.
Yeah, I got a feeling a lot of these games are rain delayed, too.
Yeah,
we just don't
that's a
know
first quarter score.
Yeah.
Just like we were ultimately a first quarter score. Blackhawk and Beaver, they never put up points on the board at all for that game. And then Imani all over Beaver Falls, 34-0.
Yeah,
that's listed as a final, but I think it's a final because of the weather, too.
Yeah, I think so. And this is just affecting everybody. Central Valley, what do we got with them?
Central Valley trailing Thomas Jefferson 27-13. That's listed as a final score. And then a heartbreaker up in Elwood City with up in Chenango, actually, with Chenango and Elwood City scheduled to play tonight, but that game was canceled because of death in the family of the coach of the Chenango Wildcats.
His son that was on the team. And tragic death, and you can't expect to play in a situation like that when they're grieving, and unfortunately things like that happen, and it's sad. It really is sad, but they're going to have to pick up the pieces of the coach and his family, and my heart goes out to that whole Chenango community.
We will have more coming up here with the Bruce Fry and the Falcones Moon Township Ford wrap-up show. Dr. D'Amico has made it to the broadcast booth, and poor Dr. D'Amico, she had to experience this torrential downpour. Apparently, nobody gave the dear woman an umbrella. Frank, Tank, what happened?
She's been down on the phone. She's been like on 3 cell phones, this lady. She's like working like a mad person over here trying to figure out everything. And I've been trying to get her up here, and she finally made her way up here so she can explain some of the situation.
Dr. D'Amico, it has been an absolutely remarkable night. You've worked so diligently. I need to let people know about this because every single media outlet in southwestern Pennsylvania wanted to be here for this game tonight. And you were trying to juggle things in order to make that happen. You put on an absolutely gorgeous event for all of the fans of Aliquippa, and the weather just not wanting to cooperate with you.
No, it's so disappointing. We're really looking forward to today. The kids were really looking forward to today. Heinz also contributed a lot to today's event, and I was excited. We were excited for Coach Patrick to get his first win. So on the books, it doesn't count, but in our hearts, we'll count this as a first success for him. So,
talk about, if you would, some of the conversations that were taking place. You, not only the head coach over at Belle Vernon, he's also the athletic director and Coach Umbert, and then you're talking to the officials. What was going through your minds and in the conversations regarding how to proceed with this game and the possibilities of finishing it?
We definitely wanted to play if we could. We after the first delay, we decided that if we kind of put a deadline on time, like said, if we were delayed past 10, we were going to call it. They have an hour and a half. They have an hour and 15-minute ride. They have a JV game tomorrow. So plus it's a non-conference game. So to risk injury with the kids, we was nervous about the kids coming out, not getting enough warm-up time, stop. Like to get hurt in a game that doesn't really count wasn't worth the risk, I think, for both teams.
But I can see the anguish on your face, that it was just so disappointing because the buildup was so great not to be able to have this thing go through and have a complete football game tonight.
Yes, we're definitely disappointed. We're definitely disappointed. What we did see, though, I think is a good start. But yeah, it's unfortunate that the weather just didn't cooperate today.
So the last time I saw you was state basketball championship and a big win there. You've been at the helm for one state basketball championship, 2 WPL championships, 2 football championships, and a state football championship. So your first 2 years have been a lot of fun and a lot of extra work.
They have been a lot of fun. And to say they're extra work, I mean, this is why you do it, right? Yeah. You want your teams to be successful, so it definitely doesn't feel like work. It's what you want. I'm living the AD dream, really. So I have no complaints here at all.
Yeah, it seemed that you love to do this for the kids. I've seen some of your social media, the stuff that Quip does in the community, and it's more than just football and basketball. It's just getting the community here. And Aliquippa truly is a community. Did you see that or know that before you came here?
I have to be honest, and my superintendent will be mad that I'm saying this, but I didn't know anything about Aliquippa before I came here. I live a solid hour away.
I won't say anything.
You won't tell him? Okay.
I won't tell him.
I live an hour away.
Uh-huh.
I came from a big football school, so we were very much focused on our football team. We didn't pay too much attention to other people's football teams. But after meeting him, he spoke so highly of his own community, and he is all about Quip. And I knew when he was coming here, he was going to try to make a difference, and I wanted to be part of that. So I feel blessed to be part of it.
As an athletic director, you won great competition on the field, on the courts. But there is a new culture here focusing on academics. And to what extent, can you talk a little bit about what that means to you as an athletic director, that you have a player last year that gets an offer and goes to Yale? And we just talked to Coach Mike Warfield, and he said that Tyke Hayes has now had conversations with Stanford, the Ivy League of the West. What that means to you to have that kind of academic excellence coming out of Aliquippa?
Yeah, that is the most important thing to me. Honestly, like my doctorate, it is a curriculum instruction. It's not in athletics. So like learning is the most important thing for me. What the kids do off the field, I'm proud of what they do on the field. They're talented. They're skilled. But what they do after high school is the most important thing to me. you can only talk about what you did on Friday night for so long. And, I always say, I don't want, no matter how great all these championships are, I don't want this to be the best moment in their lives. I want something in the future to be the best moment in their lives. And, I think that comes through, academics and furthering your education and figuring out your passion, because you can only play football so long. But, you're going to get into a career or a job that you really like, you can do that for the rest of your life. So that's really important to me.
Do you see any other changes at Aliquippa? I mean, you've got this whole beautiful new stadium. Are there any new sports or any changes that might be upcoming for Aliquippa that you can clue us in on?
Yes, we put a lot of focus on the boys, so now we're trying to give the girls some love too. Our girls basketball team was extremely successful last year. We're looking at another good season with them. We just redid our gym, and it was very important that we put volleyball lines on the gym. So the girls are hosting the MAC tournament here in a couple weeks. We have girls flag football. We got a little better last year, so those are we're just trying to involve our females, because they're just as talented and just as intelligent. So just give them a little bit more love, a little bit more press. So
let me go back to football if I could. Like I mentioned earlier, we talked with Coach about his decision to step away and take a leave of absence. How surprising was that to you, and were you concerned at all about the football program moving forward?
I was surprised, because I know how much Mike loves the children, loves the kids, and the kids are the most important thing to him. And so I was surprised, but I was nervous for a little bit that he was maybe sick or something was happening behind the scenes. But football takes up a lot of time, and so I support Mike and his decision to take a break. But Vashon, he was Mike's right-hand man, and we worked very well together last year. So I wasn't at all nervous about Vashon carrying on the tradition. I think Mike very much prepared him for this, so that he's just kind of continuing on Mike's legacy. So
let me ask about when you guys are down there talking, and it's the officials, and it's people from Belle Vernon, it's you guys. Who has the ultimate authority in calling the game? Is it the officials? Is it the athletic directors? Is it just a consortium of everybody? But who has the final say? What was that about?
Well, we looked to the officials, for them, but they actually, gave it back to us and said it was an administrative decision to say who had the final game, especially because it wasn't a conference game. They almost were treating it like a scrimmage. To me, it felt like that. So it was kind of like however we wanted to do. So
it was up to you and Matt.
Yeah. Yes. Ultimately, and Matt is also his head coach.
Yes.
Is the head coach. So I felt like it was important to have Coach Patrick as part of the conversation. I didn't want to make it, especially this is his first game. I didn't want to make that decision without him. So he was part of the discussion as well, and so were the principals. Mr. Hurd and Mr.
Makes sense. We don't want to see any kids get hurt. That's the main
thing. No.
It's disappointing when you got a big crowd and you got a big event. But you guys are going to get big crowds every game here because of this new facility. Everybody last year, I know you had big crowds, and the community wants to come out and support this team, and probably better than any other community in Beaver County. So talk about the pride of this community and this team.
Yeah, this is definitely the highlight of the community, and we're happy that we have something so nice now that they can enjoy and be part of. And this, seeing everybody here on a Friday night, it makes me happy that we were able to resuscitate this facility. I was just so surprised when I first got here that we were letting our kids play in something that looked like it did.
Not only the field, but the stands.
Yes.
3/4 of it were, I don't want to say dilapidated, but they were condemned.
Yes. So we're happy to be able to offer this, and tonight was the groundbreaking for the academic and athletic center. So that's something else we hope to give back to the community.
I got to tell you, as we wrap this up, one, thank you so much for your time. I know that your phone probably has thousands of texts that you have to respond to so quickly, but I want to commend you and the entire athletic department and the administration at Aliquippa at what you guys have been able to do to create this little public public-private partnership with Heinz, their commitment to this community, what your leadership, what Coach Warfield's leadership has brought to the table to make this into a program that not only the people of Aliquippa can take pride in, but all of Beaver County can look at this and have a sense of great happiness for these young men that have just given their all in the worst of conditions, fair enough to say, but they've achieved greatness anyway, and now the reward is being paid off. Congratulations for all that you've done.
Thank you very much.
Championship AD, 2 for 2 and 2 for 2 at WPLs in basketball and football. That's what's going to happen.
You keep on winning.
What if you don't win one? What are they going to do?
I don't know. Maybe they might fire me. I'm not sure.
Then.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
She's going to have to put rings on necklaces pretty soon.
You're soaked, by the way.
The athletic director here at Aliquippa, Dr. D'Amico, thank you so much. All right, we'll get ready to wrap things up here. We'll talk a little bit about potential CCBC players of the game if we could.
Tank has his
okay, we'll bring Tank in, on this.
Do
I need to take a break here? Let me take a 2-minute break. We'll come back. We'll talk about that, and they'll get ready to send things over to Bruce Fry and the Falcones Moon Township Ford wrap-up show coming up on Beaver County Radio.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
Hi, this is Bob Barrickman here for Fry Transportation. When it comes to school buses in Beaver County, it sure is hard not to notice the shiny Fry Transportation fleet. Fry Transportation has been a local family-owned Beaver County business for over 30 years. As any successful football team must be dependable and reliable, these same qualities have made Fry Transportation a champion operation. Best wishes to all local teams and safe travels to the gridirons this season. From your friends at Fry Transportation.
You're listening to 2024 high school football coverage on Beaver County Radio from the McGee Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by EXP Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness, Pride Transportation Group LLC, Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the YMCA.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
We're back. I'm Mangino, Mike Azadian with me in the booth, and we are joined by our sideline reporter, Tank. And Tank, we didn't really get much of the game, not even the full first quarter. And it was kind of start and stop and start and stop. But if you were to try to project out the way guys were playing for what you saw on the sideline, are there some people that would have been in serious contention for the CCBC player of the game?
For the CCBC player of the game, the person that really stuck out for me for Aliquippa was number 0, Lester Longmire. He showed him on defense. He caused that interception, and on offense, he caught that long screen pass as well and set him up for the score.
Very nice. All right, I can go along with that one. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with that because he, to me, looked like the best player on the field at times on both sides of the ball. So I concur on him as well. And quickly, I think there's weather delays all over. We saw there was a weather delay at West Allegheny at halftime, so I would assume a lot of these games are going to be canceled after the first.
Take on the Belle Vernon side of things, because we always select the CCBC player of the game from the winning team and then from the losing team. You seem to have an interest and took a liking to number 17, Riley Doppelhuer.
Yeah, he was.
Why is that?
On the defensive side of the ball, he was in there every play. He was cutting through the line. He was in it pretty much every play when it was a running play. And on the pass plays, if it was in it, he pretty much was in on every tackle. He was definitely not shy out there. He was not the biggest guy in the field, but he definitely stood his ground, and I think he did great.
He is listed. Are you ready for this? He's a ninth grader. He's listed at 5'4", 100 pounds.
I'm telling you, he's going to be something to watch. Watch.
If he grows a little bit, forget about it. Now, as a coach, the idea of having somebody who's so small,
he's got to have a huge heart. And
he plays so intensely. We were talking with Coach Warfield about this earlier, that you can have 5-stars athletes with a 2-star heart.
Right.
And this kid right now,
he's got a size 12 heart.
Yeah, it's just remarkable to have a guy that small, and he's going up against guys that are easily 2.5 times his own weight.
Yeah. I mean, he was impressing me. I was looking forward to see that matchup all throughout the night, but we'll see it another time, I guess.
Mike, who do you like?
I really like we said, Lester Longmire, and to be honest, Belle Vernon. I mean, the one Wade kid, I think it was Alonzo Wade, made a nice catch over the middle, and I thought Curtis Wade played a well quarterback, but we didn't see much from them. So I'll concur.
The punter?
The punter had a really good punt, but I'll concur.
My goodness, he crushed that thing, didn't he?
I mean,
Pregame, he was hitting 60-yard punts.
But, I mean, this Doppelhainer kid, a freshman, he's a backup quarterback, but if he hit like he hit and he made that big play, we can go with him. But him or the punter are fine with me. That punter was a big
I mean,
Preston Rathaway, he's only a junior.
He's got a leg.
I think the other kid's got a lot of years to get better at the game. I think we go with the punter. That's my opinion.
All right.
We're going with the punter.
Because the ninth grader will have plenty of opportunities to win in the future.
But the punter, we might not see
Show
him.
some love to the special teams guys.
Oh.
Well, you keep on hearing every coach I've ever interviewed, Mike, Tank, every one of them says you got to win offense, defense, and special teams.
3 sides
now,
of the ball.
special team side where they had the muff punt, or Anthony Cruz had the muff punt. Okay, that's how special teams hurt you.
Though.
However, that punt by Rathaway, It put him all the way back at the 17-yard line for Aliquippa, and that's when they had that 3 and out. They had a 10-yard penalty for holding, and then they just couldn't move the ball at all.
Yeah.
All right, so the punter gets the CCBC player of the game. I like that.
So congratulations, kid. Sorry I couldn't interview you.
Next time.
I'll find you. Come to an open house for me.
There you go. All right, so that does it for here at Heinz Field. An interesting broadcast. Mike, maybe the most interesting I've ever been a part of when it comes to sports.
We interviewed a young man from the Beaver County Times. We interviewed a man from the Tribune Review. We got a lot of Tank, a lot of me and you. We killed a ton of time. And
Wait, here's the thing. I don't like the reference to killing time. And the reason why. Here's the reason why. I think I really believe that outside of being able to call a game, we had really good conversations with people who really know what they're talking about. We started off with Coach Warfield.
Yeah.
Had a great interview with him. We wrap up with Dr. D'Amico. Mm-hmm. And then you talk about the reporters that came in with great insights. Ethan Morrison from the Beaver County Times, he was absolutely fantastic with his knowledge about Beaver County football. And then Ed Troop. Ed Troop was great from the Trib. So I think that we did the best that we could in turning a football game that wasn't,
and we made it into a good broadcast,
into a 2-hour high school football sports talk show.
We were able to fill time during a delay.
Yes.
There we go.
With hopefully enough content that
you didn't think I'd
listening.
be able to fill time. I can fill time.
I had my doubts going into this game.
I can talk.
I had my doubts. Do you know who I have no doubts can fill the time?
Bruce Fry.
Bruce Fry can fill some time.
Yeah, he can.
He has a lot of time he has to fill, considering it's just about time for the Moon Township, Falcone's Moon Township.
How many times do you think he's going to say weather?
And who else is with him, though? Don't forget his producer.
Remind me.
Curtis, can you get some help? Who's producing tonight back in the...
Who has master control responsibilities?
Ryan Garazunas.
Oh, Ryan.
Ryan's back there. Ryan.
Ryan's
Hope
back
you're
there.
having a good night.
That's Ralphie. Ralphie's back
Ralphie.
there. Yeah, that's him.
Ralphie, we got Big Country here helping us out. We got the Curtis father and son duo, Tank. Mike, I said Big Country. I said Big Country.
Okay.
I got this together. Mike Azadian making sure that I do everything right.
Yeah,
I'm
just here along for the
we
ride.
will do this again, hopefully, weather permitting, next week. Beaver
Coach's
Falls.
Corner at 7 on Wednesday.
Who are you interviewing?
Don't know yet. Hopefully Hopewell or Western Beaver.
All right, very good. That does it for us. Aliquippa finishes up in this called game that will not be made up, and the record not showing it moving forward. So there you go. All right, Bruce Fry waiting to get ready for the Moon Township Falcones Moon Township Ford wrap-up show next on Beaver County Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to high school football on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's game was brought to you by eXp Realty, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Programs, Fry Transportation, Forward RX, Electric Garage Door Sales, the YMCA, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, McDonald's, Moon Auto, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, CCBC, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fisher's New Brighton Foodland, Al's Pizza, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Drug-Free Aliquippa, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, LGKG, St. Barnabas, Gnu's Body Works, the J&J Spratt Funeral Home, Hallowed Grounds, J. Young Refuse, Zuki Sports Tavern, the Rochester Hotel, Henderson Insurance, D&G Rentals, S.C. Snyder Insurance, and Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP.